anything you throw at it. Even in cold. Butter? Yep. Chocolate ice cream? Sure thing. Barbecue sauce? Tide's got you covered. You don't need to use warm water. Additionally, Tide Pods let you confidently fight tough stains with new ColdZyme technology. Just remember, if it's gotta be clean, it's...
Good morning, welcome to Today.
From back to school to your to-do list, Today's Show is your best start to the day.
It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on.
As the forecast
Football all across the country.
And no-risk pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and changeable slip covers made with performance fabrics. Experience cloud-like comfort with high-resilience foam that's hypoallergenic and never needs fluffing. The sturdy steel frame ensures longevity, and the modular pieces can be rearranged anytime. Check out WashableSofas.com. Up to 60% off your Anabay sofa, backed by a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not absolutely in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping or restocking fees. Every penny back. Upgrade now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Oh look, we got one play. Everything we work for comes down to this. Quick question. Speaking of workouts, how would you rate your athletic program? Bro, we're in the middle of the state championship. Oh, so like a B+ then. Dude, get out of our huddle. Well, at Homes.com, we leave it all on the field to get you detailed information on local schools. Off the field! Off the field. Copy. All right, go sports. How did he even get in here? Homes.com. No. We've done your homework.
And you're here. Thanks for choosing the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. Your quest for podcasts of the paranormal, supernatural, and the unexplained ends here. We invite you to enjoy all our shows we have on this network. And right now, let's start with Strange Things with Joshua P. Warren.
Welcome to our podcast. Please be aware the thoughts and opinions expressed by the host are their thoughts and opinions only and do not reflect those of iHeartMedia, iHeartRadio, Coast to Coast AM, employees of Premier Networks, or their sponsors and associates. We would like to encourage you to do your own research and discover the subject matter for yourself. Welcome to the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network and Strange Things. The Wizard of Weird is out conducting peculiar experiments this week, but he's unlocked his vault to share this perfectly preserved specimen of strangeness.
Get ready to be amazed by the Wizard of Weird. This is Strange Things with Joshua P. Warren.
I am Joshua P. Warren, and each week on this show, I'll be bringing you brand new, mind-blowing content, news, exercises, and weird experiments you can do at home, and a lot more. On this special edition of the show, I have a new haunted doll, and his name is Kennedy. I have been wanting to tell you about this for a long time. I've been saving it up, and that's why I think, in part, this is a special show. Kennedy was given to me by a great friend, and soon that friend is going to come on this podcast as a surprise guest and tell you the story behind this most intriguing doll. But first, I am recording this in October, and it is now a tradition for me every October to tell you this tale, to set the tone, to create the mood, to tell you the story of Stingy Jack. Several centuries ago, amongst the green countryside and superstitious towns and villages in Ireland, there lived a drunkard known as Stingy Jack. Jack was known throughout the land as a deceiver, a manipulator, and a dredge on his community. On a fateful Halloween night, typical of Jack, he was drunk and wandering through the countryside in the moonlight when he stumbled upon a shadowy body lying in his path. And to his surprise, the body, with an eerie grimace on his pale face, rose suddenly, and the figure said to Stingy Jack, "I am the devil, and I have finally come for you. You knew this day would come." "What do you want with me?" exclaimed Jack. "I'm here to take your soul down to hell," said the horrible, grinning figure. Well, Jack seemed to accept his fate, but he said to the devil, "Then please, please at least give me one last drink of ale before I go." Well, the devil, always up for a good time, said, "Well, yes, fine then. Let's go to the pub for your last ale." Well, the two had a good old time, drinking up a storm for hours. Finally, the tab came due, but Jack did not have a penny to his name. So he said to the devil, "Well, you're a great and powerful magician. Let's see if you can turn yourself into a silver coin we can give this barkeep." Well, the devil was happy to show off and oblige, and he transformed himself into a silver coin. Jack quickly stuffed the coin into his pocket where Jack always kept a crucifix, and this trapped old Satan. You see, his power was gone next to a crucifix. And the devil begged Jack to let him go free, but Jack said, "I know my inevitable fate, but I'll only release you if you grant me 10 more years, just 10 more years on this earth." The devil had no choice but to agree. Well, you'd think old Stingy Jack would have changed his ways, but he did not. Some say he got even worse. But time flies by. And Halloween night, 10 years later, old Jack was wandering the moonlit countryside when once again his old friend, the devil, appeared next to a dark tree. "It's been 10 years, growled the devil. "Now it's time to go, Jack." And Jack bowed his head and said, all right, I know it's time, but at least give me one last morsel of food from this good green earth before I have to go." And the devil was actually kind of fond of Jack, and he said, "Well, fine. I'll give you one last morsel of food since you won't be getting it anymore forever." They were next to an apple tree, and Jack said, "I can't reach them apples up there, but you're a great and powerful spirit. Can you please run up that tree and take me down an apple to feed this hungry belly?" And once again, the devil agreed to this request. But as the devil climbed up the gnarled branches of the tree, clever old Stingy Jack reached in his pockets and quickly surrounded the base of the tree with a ring of crucifixes. Satan was mad as hell that he had been entrapped again and demanded his release. And as before, Jack made a demand that his soul never be taken by Satan into Hades. Satan had no choice but to agree, and so the devil was set free. Well, the years passed by. Time always wins. Eventually, the hard drinking took its toll on Jack, and he died in pain. Jack found himself at the gate of St. Peter in heaven, but he was stopped. St. Peter said, "Jack, because of your drinking and sinful life of deceit, you shall never be allowed in heaven." So Jack was immediately spirited down to hell. But there, he saw his old drinking buddy, the devil, once again, and Satan said, "I have to fulfill my promise, Jack. You shall never be admitted here." And so Jack was not admitted to heaven or hell. And the devil, with his eerie, vindictive grin, tossed a fiery ember into an old, hollowed-out turnip and gave it to Jack. And the devil said, "You shall miserably wander the earth forever, never at rest, always weary, with this lantern as a warning to all those fools who think they can somehow outsmart God and the devil." And to this day, on some dark, clear nights, especially, you'll catch a glimpse of old Stingy Jack with his lantern drifting about the hills and glens. All he wants now is a rest that shall never come. He is doomed to this fate for all time. Those who see this apparition shudder and rush their children inside. He's old Stingy Jack with his lantern, or as we call him, Jack of the Lantern, or Jack-o'-lantern. And that, my friends, is the story of the Jack-o'-lantern. Ah, yes, I don't know why exactly I love that tale so much. I guess because that, for me, it seems to capture that origin of Halloween back in the old world. But now that that beat of nostalgia is out of the way, we will begin prepping for the main event of this show. That is because I am very particular these days about accepting physical packages from anybody. But I have known this guy for a long time. He's been a really good friend, and he has been telling me for a long time he was going to send me this package. And just recently, weeks ago, this large box arrived at my house. And when I opened it, there was one of the most impressive ventriloquist dolls that I have ever seen. And you may or may not know this, but technically, I guess professionally, they're called ventriloquial figures. And this was an extremely well-made doll figure. I don't think it's good to call him. And the craftsmanship was amazing. I think that a professional made this particular doll painstakingly, almost like Geppetto making Pinocchio. And the origin of this doll is, it's still sort of up in the air. His name is Kennedy. Now, why is that? Well, I'm going to ask that question in a moment, because when we come back from the break, my special guest, the man who sent this doll to me, is going to tell us all in his own words about how he obtained this and why that this doll is haunted. And then I'm going to tell you I have been doing to study this doll since the doll has been in my possession. And as if that weren't enough, after we talk about all that, then I, just last night, went on a paranormal investigation at one of the most haunted properties in all of Las Vegas. I'm going to tell you the story about that place as well. Oh my goodness. I guess you should know by now that if you want to really get the latest, greatest, breaking, fresh news, you have to go sign up for my free e-newsletter. Go to joshuapwarren.com and sign up for the e-newsletter right there on the homepage. Sometimes I just send out free, amazing stuff to people. Sometimes I invite you to events or experiments. And when you sign up, you'll instantly receive an automated email from me that's got some links to some free online goodies. And while you're there, I want you to also visit my curiosity. That's the curiosity shop at joshuapwarren.com. Buy something nice for yourself or a loved one and support the show. There's no period after the P when you go to joshuapwarren.com. I am Joshua P. Warren, and you are listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network, and I will be right back.
Life's messy. We're talking spills, stains, pets, and kids. But with Anabe, you never have to stress about messes again. At WashableSofas.com, discover Anabe sofas, the only fully machine-washable sofas inside and out, starting at just $699. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. That means fewer stains and more peace of mind. Designed for real life, sofas feature changeable fabric covers, allowing you to refresh your style anytime. Need flexibility? Modular design lets you rearrange your sofa effortlessly. Perfect for co-apartments or spacious homes. Plus, they're earth-friendly and built to last. That's why over 200,000 happy customers have made the switch. Upgrade your space today. Visit WashableSofas.com now and bring home a sofa made for life. That's WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day.
It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on.
As the forecast called for football all across the country.
blockbuster stars, live concert, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch The Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Speaking of workouts, how would you rate the athletic program? Bro, we're in the middle of the state championship. Oh, so like a B plus then. Dude, get out of our huddle. At Homes.com, we leave it all on the field to get you detailed information on local schools. Off the field! Off the field. Copy. All right, go sports. How'd he even get in here? Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Now I'd like to introduce you to Meaningful Beauty, the famed skincare brand created by iconic supermodel Cindy Crawford. It's your secret to absolutely gorgeous skin. Meaningful Beauty makes powerful and effective skincare simple, and it's loved by millions of women. Formulated for all ages and all skin tones and types, and it's designed to work as a complete skincare system, leaving your skin feeling soft, smooth, and nourished. I recommend starting with Cindy's full regimen, which contains all 5 of her best-selling products, including the amazing youth-activating Melon Serum. This next-generation serum has the power of Melon Leaf stem cell technology. It's Melon Leaf stem cells encapsulated for freshness and released onto the skin to support a visible reduction in the appearance of wrinkles. With thousands of glowing 5-star reviews, why not give it a try? Subscribe today and you can get the amazing Meaningful Beauty system for just $49.95. That includes our introductory 5-piece system, free gifts, free shipping, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. All that available at meaningfulbeauty.com.
Go on, get a little out there, into the big heart of Nevada, where you can go off-road and off the map, to lakes or on horseback, dip into hot springs and dive into deserts, climb a mountain, or make your best effort. See thousands of stars in some of the darkest skies, stake out haunted hotels. Can you make it to sunrise? There's always something new to see, because you've got plenty of space to just be. Plan your trip at travelnevada.com.
Welcome back to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. I am your host, the Wizard of Weird, Joshua P. Warren, beaming into your wormhole brain from my studio in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, where every day is golden and every night is silver. Aggiatato Zume. And if you have any experience doing paranormal investigation, you probably know that one of the biggest challenges you face is this phenomenon of genuine paranormal activity causing your equipment to malfunction. And that is a big, big problem when you're trying to document something, especially something rare. So I'm talking about your camera stops working, your microphone stops working, your batteries fail. I mean, it's just a well-known phenomenon. And people who are, debunkers and cynics, they say, oh, isn't that convenient? Well, I know it seems that way, but I mean, that also is very much a part of, what happens when these bizarre energies are manifesting in the environment. Well, therefore, it should not be a surprise that technical problems have been a hallmark of this particular edition of the podcast, and which is very clearly apparent because the man that I am interviewing here momentarily for this show is my friend, the legendary Mr. Tom Danheiser, producer of Coast to Coast AM, also producer of this show, Strange Things. And Tom Danheiser has worked in broadcasting for many decades. And he's been, on every end of the technology. And I've been working in broadcasting for decades. You'd think that if the two of us decided to call each other and have a simple conversation, it should be like faultless and simple, and it should sound like $1 million. Well, for the first time since I've ever been interviewing people, I faced this, almost an insurmountable problem. I got Tom onto my sophisticated professional recording outfit, and I said, hey, Tom, and he says, Josh, hey, Tom, Josh, I'm like, what's going on here? So I've never had an issue before, so I hung up everything, rebooted it. We could not connect to talk about Kennedy the doll. And we must have tried, 6 or 7 times, and it just wasn't going to work. And so, I was getting desperate because, and I was also feeling embarrassed. Like, I can't believe, I'm talking to the producer of the show here and I can't get this equipment to work for the first time ever. I still can't explain what happened. It's working fine now. I tested it afterward. So the interview that you're about to hear is going to sound a little bit weird because here's what I had to do to make this happen. I had to get him on my cell phone, put him on speakerphone, and then turn on a handheld audio recorder right there between the phone and my face and record us talking to each other that way. and thankfully it still does. It doesn't really sound bad. It still turned out fine. You can hear what we're saying. It just sounds weird. But I want you to know that, keep that in mind as you listen to what we're talking about, because we will address it so that once Kennedy gets around, this kind of thing begins to happen. So here we go. Let's dig into my conversation with Tom Danheiser. Producer Tom Danheiser, you and I have known each other a long time, many years, and you called me one day and said, Joshua, we are starting up a Coast to Coast AM paranormal podcast network, and I want you to be a part of it. And I think that was, believe it or not, over 3 years ago. And I want to thank you right off the bat. I just want to thank you publicly for inviting me to be a part of the network.
Well, Josh, I want to tell you, you're absolutely right. That was about so every bit of that story is true, and your show has turned out to be a really great show. I made a great decision, if I do say so myself, and we are very happy that you are part of the network, and I mean that.
So before we get into the big topic here, I just want to ask you, what do you think is the most important key to all of the success that Coast to Coast AM has had over all these decades?
That is one great question. I think one of the keys is discernment. So I think that when it comes to the strange, the macabre, even things that are just scientific, I think people are too quick to jump to go, yeah, that's it, without thinking things through. Like I noticed on your show when you'll do experiments and you'll do, different things, I can tell that you think things through before you actually proceed to do them. And I think that's very important. Somebody comes to you and just says, I'm just using an example, but they say, oh, Warlock, I can conjure magic. Well, yeah. Okay, fine, but think things through, can you? So that's kind of a lesser example of what I'm trying to say. But I like I said, thinking things through, I think, is key.
Well, we love breaking news in the Coast to Coast AM realm, and you are always full of surprises. And recently, you contacted me and said that you had a special gift to send me. So please tell us that story.
Well, so I'm gonna say about a big package to us, and doll. His name was Keith, and they just simply said, could you watch out for him? And so we kept it around in each other's offices forever. And I'm going to fast forward to about a year ago. They had us move offices in our studios, so everything was arrayed because there were like 4, 5, 6, 7 people moving everything. And somehow the letter from the listener got separated from where I had Kennedy in a drawer. So, time went on, and I kept Kennedy in my new studio, in my new office, and weird stuff started happening, not to me, but to friends that would come up to my office. And somebody just asked me, look, why don't you just, time to get rid of Kennedy? And for lack of a better word, I don't like the word get rid of, but then I thought to myself, you know what, who better might enjoy him than the Wizard of Weird? So I contacted you, and sure enough, you said, yeah, I will have him, and that's our story, and now you own Kennedy.
So what are some of the weird things that happened?
Well, let me tell you, they weren't weird things where oh, no, they were. Hold on, let me back up. At first, it was just that people would look at him, and my friends would say, he's creepy. Don't show him to me. He's got, I'm sure you're going to post him at some point on your website, but, he's got this ventriloquist-like face, and they just thought he was really, really creepy. And that just went on for a while. A couple friends would say here and there, it's really creepy. And then one night, and, I struggle with this because I can't explain this, but when my girlfriend asked me to get rid of him, maybe like a week later, we were sleeping, and I woke up to this loud crash in my kitchen, and this porcelain candy dish had fallen from the counter. Now, that seems pretty normal to me, a dish falling from the top of a shelf, but the thing I struggle with is the sound that I woke up to in no way was just a dish falling. Like, someone literally would have had to slam this on the ground. And, you know, I think to myself all the time, am I kind of just overthinking this or whatever, but I'm not. And I can't explain it. So that's the first thing that happened. Then she started noticing like shadow people going up my stairs. And I'm like, come on. So I think, in fact, Josh, she said that to you and you analyzed it, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. And I can't explain what that shadow was.
Yeah, and then, listen, Josh, I don't know if this relates to Kennedy or not. All I'm saying is it kind of started happening after I was asked to send him away. And so I had my assistant, she was dog sitting for me when I was gone, and she called me about 12:30 at night, because when she called me, and Josh, I gotta tell you, there was serious terror in this woman's voice. And she said that she grabbed my dog and ran out of the house because she heard, quote, somebody dribbling a bowling ball upstairs, unquote. Now, I find that fantastic, but I also, you know, I'm not going to question someone else who says they heard this, and if I could somehow play the terror in her voice, I mean, she really was scared. I haven't heard any of this, so, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have a haunted house or anything like that, but these are some of the things that happened ever since I was asked to send Kennedy to you.
Do you have any idea as to why he's named Kennedy?
I don't. I've been looking all over for that letter, but I had it with him in a drawer, but like I said, things got thrown all over the place when they moved stuff, and so I just don't know why his name was Kennedy.
Okay, time for a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about the strange activity around the Kennedy, and I also want to describe him to you in as much detail as I can to tell you sort of what it feels like to be around him, and also tell you how that you can go and see a picture of him. I'm Joshua P. Warren. You're listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network, and I will be back after these important messages.
Let's be real. Life happens. Kids spill. Pets shed. And accidents are inevitable. Find a sofa that can keep up at WashableSofas.com. Starting at just $699. Our sofas are fully machine washable, inside and out. So you can say goodbye to stains and hello to worry-free living. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. They're kid-proof, pet-friendly, and built for everyday life. Plus, changeable fabric covers let you refresh your sofa whenever you want. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa anytime to fit your space, whether it's a growing family room or a cozy apartment. Plus, they're earth-friendly and trusted by over 200,000 happy customers. It's time to upgrade to a stress-free, mess-proof sofa. Visit WashableSofas.com today and save at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Welcome to today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, today's show is your best start to the day.
It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on.
As the forecast called for football all across the country.
Blockbuster stars, live concerts, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
All of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Homes.com is the only place where you can find specialized neighborhood guides with the in-depth insider info home shoppers want. Very in-depth info. Want to know if there's homes for sale in the area? We've got it. How long is the market? We'll know it. Average lot size? Proximity to local parks? Of course. Insight into your neighbor's divorce? We're working on it. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Now I'd like to introduce you to Meaningful Beauty, the famed skincare brand created by iconic supermodel Cindy Crawford. It's your secret to absolutely gorgeous skin. Meaningful Beauty makes powerful and effective skincare simple, and it's loved by millions of women. It's formulated for all ages and all skin tones and types, and it's designed to work as a complete skincare system, leaving your skin feeling soft, smooth, and nourished. I recommend starting with Cindy's full regimen, which contains all of her best-selling products, including the amazing Youth Activating Melon Serum. This next-generation serum has the power of melon leaf stem cells cell technology. It's melanine stem cells encapsulated for freshness and released onto the skin to support a visible reduction in the appearance of wrinkles. With thousands of glowing 5-star reviews, why not give it a try? Subscribe today and you can get the amazing Meaningful Beauty system for just $49.95. That includes our introductory 5-piece system, free gifts, free shipping, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. All of that available at meaningfulbeauty.com.
Go on, get a little out there, into the big heart of Nevada, where you can go off-road and off the map, on 2 lakes or on horseback, dip into hot springs and dive into deserts, climb a mountain, or make your best effort, see thousands of stars in some of the darkest skies, stake out haunted hotels. Can you make it to sunrise? There's always something new to see, because we've got plenty of space to just be. Plan your trip at travelnevada.com.
Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. I'm your host, Joshua P. Warren, and this is the show where the unusual becomes usual. And now, back to my conversation with producer Tom Danheiser. Again, we had to do this on a speakerphone setting because we had so many technical problems. Maybe it's because we're talking about the newest member of my family, Kennedy, the haunted doll.
And you just kept him in a box pretty much the whole time you had him, right?
Well, no, what happened was we got him out of the box. He sat in George's office for a while, and George is like, you better take that thing. I don't want to keep looking at it. So I took it in my office. I sat him there for a while, and then it came time to where we had to really start packing up our things to move. So I stuck him in a cabinet drawer. I laid him carefully in a cabinet drawer, and he stayed there for a couple months.
Well, as we speak, Kennedy is isolated in a room in my lab with a camera on him 24/7 and some instruments there also on camera to measure any kind of electromagnetic or electrostatic activity associated with movements and life. So, we'll see what we can document. But do you think it's possible, Tom, that Kennedy might become just as interesting as, say, like Robert the Doll?
I do. I think it's possible. There's one thing that confuses me. Every friend, when I say every friend, I want to say like 2 or 3 people have looked at him and said he's really creepy. Mm-hmm. But I've never, I recognize that he's kind of, strange looking, he's a doll, but I never really felt, threatened or creeped out or anything. And then when I sent him to you and Lauren, I believe, felt fine. Like there's nothing weird about him. So I don't know if it's the people or what. I certainly think it's possible he could be like Robert the Doll. But I will tell you, it is strange to me that nothing, well, besides the weird things I told you, nothing really happened when you got him. And then all of a sudden tonight, when you asked me if we could talk about him, we had some trouble.
Yeah. For the first time ever. In the past 3 years that I've been doing Strange Things, I have never had an issue with trying to record an interview, and this is the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain the candy dish. And my girlfriend can tell you that she did not get a good vibe from him. And Josh, I wish I could explain to everybody how I feel, because this sound I woke up to, and like I said, I'm really discerning. I kind of try to take things apart and see what I should believe and what I shouldn't, but there was no way that this dish falling from a shelf of maybe 2 feet made the noise that was the noise that I woke up to. There's just no way.
Well, that's one of the things that has always impressed me about you is that you are an incredibly logical, practical person. You hear the craziest stories all the time, and yet at the same time, you're basically, a businessman, and then you're looking at logical explanations and cause and effect and all that. So it means a lot that you think there's something odd about this doll. But in general, I guess, do you feel that there is some kind of a possible spirit in this thing?
Yes, I would certainly believe that, but I would also believe that the spirit only seems to come out to certain people at certain times, and I don't think, I love the weird, I love the wacky, I love everything this earth has to offer, but the things that I can't explain drive me crazy. And I don't know, this bowling ball sound that my assistant heard upstairs around the time when I was asked to send Kennedy to you. My girlfriend also heard it one night when I wasn't here. I haven't heard anything. So then I start thinking, well, is it just women that hear this? But, I just don't know, and it drives me crazy. I can't figure it out. But I will tell you that candy dish thing is probably one of the most bizarre things in a long time that has happened that ponders me.
Well, Tom, October is my birthday month, and you've just given me a great gift, and I'm pretty sure it will be the gift that keeps on giving to all of us. So this is exciting, and I'm going to keep studying it and updating everybody. But thank you, Tom. I appreciate it.
No, not at all. And I do want to leave you with one other thing. There's things that are, I believe, things that are evil will show you right away, and the fact that you've had Kennedy for a while and everything's been fine with the exception of maybe our little recording tonight, I don't think he's evil, at least not with you and Lauren. I don't think he was with me, but I don't think that he liked other people telling me, you need to get rid of him, he's creepy. So that's my take.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like, it seems like that there are some bizarre technical things. As a matter of fact, even the camera that I have on him right now has been malfunctioning, and that's never happened before. So I guess that's just, part of the problem when it comes to trying to document the paranormal. I mean, it kind of interferes with the process. But, well, we're going to keep everybody updated. Yeah.
It's weird because, this stuff is not, brain surgery. You hit a record button, you make sure things are working, it's fine. And when you must have called me 7 times tonight.
Yeah.
To get a proper connection. And I just kept thinking, oh my God, what is this?
I've never had that problem once. I mean, at first I was like, is Tom messing with me? I've never had that issue at all. So, yeah, there's something happening here. So, I think it's going to be really interesting to keep everybody updated on what kind of mysterious phenomena occurs around Kennedy. And
I agree.
Yeah.
Josh, I think that you, I, and Lauren are in his good graces. I will say that.
I sure hope so. All right. Well, very cool. Well, thank you, Tom. I appreciate it, my friend.
Josh, thanks for having me on Strange Things.
Now, I know you all are dying to hear more about how Kennedy looks. And by the way, the night that I received him, and Lauren and I took him out of the box, we put him in a chair and took a picture of him, and I sent it to my mom, and my mom texted back, "That thing is creepy. I would get rid of that demonic-looking thing." So that's the reaction that my mom had. But Lauren and I, we're getting a good vibe off him. But here we go. So Kennedy is, he looks to be like a standard size ventriloquist doll, except he has a very thick torso. His skin is sort of light pink. He has coal black hair. He has these eyes that look kind of mischievous. He has a couple of kind of sharp black eyebrows. And his eyes are just a little bit squinty, and he's got these kind of odd eyelashes drawn around his eyes. But his eyes look incredibly realistic. When you look right into his eyes, they're kind of penetrating. And he's got red lips and this big, wide grin on his face with these slightly rosy cheeks. He's wearing a little plaid vest with a burgundy tie. He's got some dark trousers on. We actually bought him some nice new little shoes. He's wearing a white shirt, so he looks like a very well-dressed little man. And the thing is, he also has kind of like this smirk on his face. And you know how usually these types of dolls are used in an act to be like a little smarty pants. So it's not unusual for the doll to have a sarcastic look. But he looks realistic enough that when we first got him and we had him sitting in the chair, every time I would walk into the room and look over, and I kind of forget that he was there, and I'd look over and see him, and it would startle me because I felt like there was a person sitting in the house. And as I mentioned before, when we first got him, he wasn't completely assembled. You could take his head out of his body, and it has all these levers all over it. And one lever controls his eyebrows going up and down. The other one controls his eyes moving back and forth. And then he's got one for opening and closing his eyes and his mouth. I mean, it's just really, really well made. And I do believe this is a professional doll, and I'm going to try to figure out who made him. I know a guy, I haven't talked to him in years, who's a professional puppeteer. I'm going to see if I can get in touch with him to give you his insight on who may have made this doll. Where did this doll come from? But I honestly, since we've had him, nothing terrible has happened, but I do have him under surveillance 24/7. We have instruments on him, and I just hope the energy stays positive. But I'm going to be keeping you updated on this, and I am just delighted to have Kennedy, and I think it's just amazing that Tom sent me this, and now I can study it and tell all of you about it. So trust me, there's going to be more to come. And there's going to be more to come on the show. In our next segment, I'm going to tell you about this very haunted property that I investigated last night. I'm Joshua P. Warren, and you are listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network, and I will be right back.
There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabe sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash. Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design
That's it for this edition of the show. Follow me on Twitter at Joshua P. Warren. Plus, visit joshuapwarren.com to sign up for my free e-newsletter to receive a free instant gift, and check out the cool stuff in the Curiosity Shop, all at joshuapwarren.com. I have a fun one lined up for you next time, I promise. So please tell all your friends to subscribe to this show and to always remember the golden rule. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your interest and support. Thank you for staying curious. And I will talk to you again soon. You've been listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network.
Well, if you like things, wait till you hear the next one. Thank you for listening to the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network.
There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabe sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash. Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design and changeable slipcovers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabe has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Did you know Apple Card is designed to help you pay off your balance faster with smart payment suggestions? And because fees don't help you, Apple Card doesn't have any. So if your credit card is an Apple Card, maybe it should be. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Variable APRs range from 18.24% to 28.49% based on creditworthiness. Rates as of July 1st, 2025. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Every day has a to-do list, but adding Enjoy Belvita to yours can help you knock out the rest of it. Belvita breakfast biscuits are a tasty and convenient breakfast option when paired with low-fat yogurt and fruit that provide steady energy all morning. While Belvita Energy Snack Bites give you the perfect mid-morning refuel. Best part, they both taste great. So make the most out of your morning with a bite of Belvita. Pick up a pack of Belvita at your local store today.
Fox One is now live. It's the new way to stream all your Fox favorites all in one place. That means NFL Sundays and college football games, breaking news with the Fox voices you trust, and your favorite shows streamed as they happen so nothing gets spoiled. With Fox One, you get it all live. Edge of your seat plays, jaw-dropping moments, and that feeling like you're right there in the action. Start your 7-day trial today. Offers are subject to change. Go to Fox One for complete terms and conditions. Fox One, we live for live. Streaming now.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
This is an iHeart podcast.
Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabe has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day.
It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on. As the forecast calls for football all across the country.
Blockbuster stars, live concert, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
With comprehensive reports on local schools you won't find anywhere else, Homes.com is the only place to find the in-depth info home shoppers want. Very in-depth info. Curious about where a school ranks in the state? Look no further. Percentage of teachers in their first or second year? We've got it. Lowest student-teacher ratio? No problem. The best cafeteria lunch in the district for your 9-year-old food blogger? Would it surprise you if we said yes? Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Now I'd like to introduce you to Meaningful Beauty, the famed skincare brand created by iconic supermodel Cindy Crawford. It's her secret to absolutely gorgeous skin. Meaningful Beauty makes powerful and effective skincare simple, and it's loved by millions of women. It's formulated for all ages and all skin tones and types, and it's designed to work as a complete skincare system, leaving your skin feeling soft, smooth, and nourished. I recommend starting with Cindy's full regimen, which contains all 5 of her best-selling products, including the amazing youth-activating Melon Serum. This next-generation serum has the power of melon leaf stem cell technology. It's melon leaf stem cells encapsulated for freshness and released onto the skin to support a visible reduction in the appearance of wrinkles. With thousands of glowing 5-star reviews, why not give it a try? Subscribe today and you can get the amazing Meaningful Beauty system for just $49.95. That includes our introductory 5-piece system, free gifts, free shipping, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. All of that available at meaningfulbeauty.com.
Go on, get a little out there, into the big heart of Nevada, where you can go off-road and off the map, on 2 lakes, or on horseback. Dip into hot springs and dive into deserts. Climb a mountain, or make your best effort. See thousands of stars in some of the darkest skies. Stake out haunted hotels. Can you make it to sunrise? There's always something new to see, because we've got plenty of space to just be. Plan your trip at travelnevada.com.
Welcome back to the final segment of this edition of Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. I am your host, Joshua P. Warren, and I was so wrapped up in looking at the picture of Kennedy the Haunted Doll and describing him that I forgot to tell you how you can just go look at a picture of him yourself. Go to JoshuaPWarren.com. There is no period after the P at JoshuaPWarren.com. Click the link to the Curiosity Shop, scroll around, and you will find a picture of Kennedy somewhere on that page. You can't miss him. And you know what else? While you are there, if you purchase something, guess what's going to happen? I've got some great news. Believe it or not, our little dog Llama is still alive, and she is doing much better than anybody ever expected. I was prepared to give you some bad news with this recording, but I'm telling you, I mean, it's almost starting to border on miraculous. So many of you have gone to the Curiosity Shop and you've purchased things. All the money goes to her medical care. You've been praying. People have been sending various, gifts that might help her. I mean, it's honestly starting to border on miraculous. And so, at a certain point, I do want to tell all of you exactly every specific thing that we've done and people who have helped us specifically along the way, so that if your pet is having trouble, especially severe trouble, I mean, like on death's door, I feel obligated to share this information with you. So thank you. Keep the prayers coming. And again, please go to JoshuaPWarren.com. Go to that Curiosity Shop and know that any dollar you spend is going to an excellent cause. I wish we had more time, but we don't, so let me jump straight into what I did last night. I have a friend who shoots videos on YouTube. They're very popular videos. His name is Danny the Medic, because he actually is a paramedic. So if you go to YouTube and you just type in Danny, D-A-N-N-Y, Danny the Medic, you can see the videos that he does that are often focused on the Las Vegas area. And they're very insightful, they're funny, and like I say, he's got a very popular channel. So he wanted to do something spooky for Halloween. And I told him that, well, if we were to get together and investigate a haunted room, we should probably do it at the Flamingo. Because, long story short, the Flamingo, which opened on December 26th of 1946, became the model for today's lavish hotel casino on the Strip. I mean, that was what everything else after the Flamingo tried to live up to Flamingo standards. And one of the reasons that place was so lavish was because it was very expensive to put together. And the guy who kind of came in and finalized that whole project was the infamous mobster Bugsy Siegel. Bugsy Siegel was one of the most famous gangsters of his day. And when he got involved with the Flamingo, he was, around his early 40s. He was just a brutal murderer, and he was connected to just about every vice you can imagine. And yet he was very popular in the press. He always wore nice suits, and he was the classic kind of like gangster living the high life kind of thing, even though he was a wicked man. And so he was involved with the mob money and Murder Incorporated and all that. And so he got an enormous amount of mob money there to finish up that project. But it didn't open as well as was expected. He was there managing it the whole time. And Bugsy Siegel, he hated to be called Bugsy. His name was Benjamin, but they called him Bugsy because he killed a lot of people with his own hands. And everybody said he was crazy as a bed bug when he got mad, whatever that means. But he had his own penthouse there he would stay in. And he had so many enemies that there was only one doorway, only one entrance into his suite, but there were 5 hidden exits. One of them was through a closet where he would slide down this ladder, basically, where he would keep a limo driver waiting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to get him out of there. And so there was a lot of dark energy around the Flamingo. And at some point, not long, less than a year after it opened, the other gangsters who were, bankrolling a lot of this stuff, Meyer Lansky and such, they said that, a lot of them believed that he was embezzling money, and that was a big no-no. So when he was 41 years old, Bugsy Siegel was sitting at his girlfriend's house in Beverly Hills in the evening, reading a newspaper, and somebody came up to the house outside the window with a rifle and shot him multiple times and killed him. One bullet actually knocked his left eyeball out of his head, so he died instantly. And that murder has never been solved. Everybody said that so many people wanted to kill him, it would be impossible to solve that murder. So what's interesting is that as soon as that happened, a lot of people started, they stopped talking about Bugsy Siegel because they thought, well, we don't want to be associated with that. But times have changed. And so now there's actually a garden behind the Flamingo, and it has flamingos in it. And they have a chapel there, and they have a little memorial with a plaque dedicated to Bugsy Siegel. And people see the ghost of Bugsy Siegel walking around that little garden all the time, but also all over the property. And there have been dozens of reports of guests and employees seeing these gangster apparitions in their rooms at night. Whether or not it actually is Bugsy Siegel is hard to say, because Bugsy Siegel probably was always haunted by a lot of these unrestful spirits anyway that he had helped to provide by being a murderer. So that the property was always haunted by those types of beings. But, and then there was a maid who said that one time she heard this guy screaming bloody murder like he was being tortured in one of the rooms, and she got security and went in, but there was nobody in there. The stories go on and on about that whole property being haunted. So Danny and I got together last night, and I brought some of my best equipment, and we sat down in his room and we shot some video, and I did some tests. And let me tell you, right off the bat, the first thing that happened was Danny has shot, I'm sure, hundreds of videos, if not over 1,000. And as soon as we sit down and start talking about this, the audio starts cutting in and out. Everything starts glitching. Even he was amazed. And he says he's a man of science, okay? He's a medic. He's not a ghost enthusiast. Even he was amazed. And after that, we started getting some very strange readings on the EMF meters. I had a thermal camera there, got some very interesting hot spots and cold spots. So, I don't know what all the results are going to show us. I can tell you that I did not see the ghost of a gangster appear in the room last night. But what I will tell you is that I have not seen this finished segment yet. And he said that he is going to release it on October the 31st. So I don't know when you're listening to this podcast, but if it's after October the 31st, 2023, on or after, well, then go to YouTube and look up Danny the Medic, and you'll find that as one of his most recent videos. But I find that, at a place like that, you might go in and say, well, maybe this room isn't haunted. Maybe that room isn't. But once you start talking about these things, that alone can bring that energy in, because the spiritual realm is not always necessarily tied down to a particular place or a particular time. You can access it mentally at any time from anywhere. And it seems like it doesn't matter what you believe or you don't believe, that there is always something that at least affects your equipment and your instruments when you start bringing up this kind of material. And that's why I say that's been a hallmark of this particular show. So check out Danny's video, and I can sit here and talk to you more and more and more about creepy things related to the mob and the flamingo. But ultimately, I do love the Flamingo. It's a great place, and I recommend you check it out. Also, in less than a month, the new Durango Casino opens in my neck of the woods, and I'm looking forward to telling you more about that. All right, my friends, I hope you have enjoyed this special spooky edition of the show. I will let you know how things go with Kennedy the Doll. Maybe we'll find out more about who he is and where he's from and all that kind of thing. But now it is time, as we often do, to try to clear our minds, breathe in something positive, take a deep breath if you can, close your eyes if you can. Let's all listen together to the Good Fortune Tone. That's it for this edition of the show. Follow me on Twitter at Joshua P. Warren. Plus, visit joshuapwarren.com to sign up for my free e-newsletter to receive a free instant gift, and check out the cool stuff in the Curiosity Shop, all at joshuapwarren.com. I have a fun one lined up for you next time, I promise. So please tell all your friends to subscribe to this show and to always remember the golden rule. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your interest and support. Thank you for staying curious. And I will talk to you again soon. You've been listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network.
Thanks for listening to the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. Make sure and check out all our shows on the iHeartRadio app or by going to iHeartRadio.com.
Life's messy. We're talking spills, stains, pets, and kids. But with Anababe, you never have to stress about messes again. At WashableSofas.com, discover Anababe sofas, the only fully machine washable sofas inside and out, starting at just $699. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. That means fewer stains and more peace of mind. Designed for real life, our sofas feature changeable fabric covers, allowing you to refresh your style anytime. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa effortlessly. Perfect for cozy apartments or spacious homes. Plus, they're earth-friendly and built to last. That's why over 200,000 happy customers have made the switch. Upgrade your space today. Visit WashableSofas.com now and bring home a sofa made for life. That's WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
Every business has an ambition. PayPal Open is the platform designed to help you grow into yours. With business loans so you can expand, and access to hundreds of millions of PayPal customers worldwide. And your customers can pay all the ways they want, with PayPal, Venmo, Pay Later, and all major cards. So you can focus on scaling up. When it's time to get growing, there's one platform for all business. PayPal Open. Grow today at paypalopen.com. Loans subject to approval in available locations.
It's back to school time again, and you know you can count on Dietz & Watson for all your favorite lunchtime needs, because we got your back, and your backpack. Dietz & Watson has all the meat and cheese to make those sandwich masterpieces, all made the right way with no fillers or MSG, like Virginia brand ham that's twice spiced and twice baked, and baby Swiss cheese that's RBST-free. Dietz & Watson, it's a family thing since 1939.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
At Hills Pet Nutrition, we know that pet parent guilt is real. Leaving too long, playing too little. New homes, new babies, waking them up when they look so comfy. Running out of patience, running out of treats. Running the vacuum! You can only do so much. That's why there's Hills. Science-led nutrition to help you give more love than humanly possible. Because you're only human, there's Hills. Find the right food at hillspet.com/science-does-more. This is an iHeart podcast.
Silly novelty stuff. And so if you're interested in that, it's on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Just type in Joshua P. Warren, I'm a Little Bit Weird, and you should be able to find my new music album. But the next thing I really wanted to get into was how that, I was telling you I had the surgery, which I'm recovering from, and I'm still in some pain, by the way. But that's not all, because for over 2 weeks now, I have been using a CPAP machine. It's a good thing I am married because I would not be picking up any chicks with this podcast. Talking about my inguinal hernia surgery and my new CPAP machine. But you know, the funny thing is I've always been an extremely vivid dreamer. And I've told you this before, but over the years, often my dreams have been unpleasant. They are frustrating. For example, it's like I dream a lot that I'm in a hotel room and I can't find my car. Or see, listen to me. I'm getting two dreams mixed up. I'm in a hotel and I can't find my room, or I'm trying to get my car and I can't find my car keys, or a zombie is breaking into my room and I'm trying to shoot the zombie, and then the bullet just comes out of the gun and goes whoop, just drop. I mean, like I started having a lot of really frustrating dreams. I had a dream not too long ago that I was at a party with Bill Bixby, the actor Bill Bixby. He played the Incredible Hulk, and he and I got into some kind of argument. And then all of a sudden, guess what? He starts hulking out. He starts turning into the Hulk. Well, now I'm getting ticked off. So I, amazingly, also start hulking out. So we both turn into Incredible Hulks. And at this point, one of our mutual friends steps in and says, "Come on, guys, calm down. Jesus, you know." And so, sure enough, we start calming down, and then we transform back into ourselves, and we become great friends after that. Well, I was tired of having these kinds of dreams, and so I've been told that sometimes if you have frustrating dreams that, you got sleep apnea. So I went to a sleep doctor, and sure enough, they said I had sleep apnea. It's easy to do that, by the way. What you do nowadays, at least in my experience, is you go there to the sleep doctor, and they give you a ring. And you wear that ring, and that ring links to your cell phone, to an app on your smartphone. And then when you sleep, it measures your breathing patterns and how much oxygen you're getting. And I think they said that if you stop breathing more than like 17 times a minute or something like that, you got sleep apnea. And so anyway, I went and saw the doctor, and he goes, "We analyzed your ring data, and you stopped breathing like, I think he said 48 times in an hour." Did I say a minute? I told you, I'm work with me, folks, here. I think if you stop breathing 17 times within an hour, it's sleep apnea, something like that. And I stopped breathing like 48 times in an hour. So anyway, they go, "Yeah, you definitely got sleep apnea." So I got the CPAP machine, and man, I wish I had done this years ago. Honestly, it's been one of the best things that I've ever done. I know a lot of people have problems with it. I understand that almost 10% of the people who try CPAP stop using it the very first night. Within a year, like 50% of the people stop using it. But if it works for you, I mean, it's not that difficult. I mean, I took my CPAP machine home, I put it on, I started the very first night, I slept like a baby, and I have not slept without it since. So if it works for you, it really is kind of a miraculous thing. But it's awkward. You feel like Darth Vader when you're laying there sleeping, but you can breathe. It's got a little humidifier there, so you get nice cool air coming in. My poor wife, Lauren, been with her for almost 30 years. She's heard a lot of snoring. Lauren gave me some notes here. Mental floss. Amazing facts. What is this? She gave me something about a baboon named Jack. 1880s. Okay. Time for a break. When we come back, I guess I'll tell you about Jack the baboon. And then, what else have I got? Oh yeah. I bought something really cool I'll tell you about. Sorry, it's all about me. Blank holes. I'm Joshua P. Warren. You're listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast and Paranormal Podcast Network, and I will be back after these important messages.
There There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabe sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash. Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design and changeable slipcovers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabe has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Big O Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you, owned by someone in your neighborhood. We offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
With comprehensive reports on local schools you won't find anywhere else, Homes.com is the only place to find the in-depth info home shoppers want. Very in-depth info. Curious about where a school ranks in the state? Look no further. Percentage of teachers in their first or second year? We've got it. Lowest student-teacher ratio? No problem. The best cafeteria lunch in the district for your 9-year-old food blogger? Would it surprise you if we said yes? Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
This is Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang from Las Culturistas with Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang.
JBL Tour Pro 3 earbuds are for those who don't conform to the standard.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get into some touchscreen technology, how about the smart charging case, clear sound? These are not standard things. You're only going to get them with the JBL Tour Pro 3, baby.
And I love the sound of JBL when it goes, boom, boom. These earbuds are packed with innovation because you can't stand out by following others.
Touchscreen smart charging case for one-touch control, instant EQ customization, true adaptive noise canceling, and the one-of-a-kind audio transmitter, which can plug and play with everything from game consoles to in-flight entertainment.
The audio transmitter also allows for JBL Spatial 360 sound that takes any audio and turns it into a 360 immersive experience.
What more could you want? First doesn't follow. Grab a pair at JBL.com.
Welcome back to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. I'm your host, Joshua P. Warren, and this is the show where the unusual becomes usual. Hey, you're just a kid. You got... Never mind, it's Dick Van Dyke. Crap. You think when Dick Van Dyke finally passes over, they're going to be like, look at that idiot. He lived too long. That's what happens when you live too long, you die. People are always going to blame you for dying. You did something wrong. Oh, well. So I was talking about animals. You know, there is honestly something therapeutic about being around animals. Don't you? I mean, surely most of you would agree with that. If nothing else, because that, you know, they're, compared to us, they're actually quite innocent. And so when you're around them and you are just watching how they behave, if you start to get into their heads, then things become much more simplified. And since I'm recovering from this surgery, I told Lauren the other day, I said, let's get out, let's take a drive down to the Red Rock Canyon area, to this little spot. I've never actually been there. You can barely call it a town. I think there's only 200 or 300 people that live there, called Blue Diamond, Nevada, out in the Red Rock Canyon. And I say Red Rock Canyon, you can imagine what that looks like. It's breathtaking. So we went to this tiny little community called Blue Diamond, Nevada, and there are wild burros that just roam there. And apparently, I mean, they don't keep any particular schedule. And so Lauren and I pulled into town, and we were pretty much the only people. And lo and behold, here are these two burros there. And they were just peacefully eating some grass, which is a rare thing in these parts. And so I got out of the car and I walked up and just sort of watched them for a little while and kind of zoned out. They didn't seem at all perturbed by me. I mean, obviously I wasn't going to get too close to them. I wasn't going to stress them out or anything. But they were totally fine. Wild burros. And so I was looking into and they're gray. These particular ones were gray, but they had a black mane that ran down the spine, and then their shoulders had another black stripe that went from shoulder to shoulder. So it kind of looked like they had a cross on their backs. And so I was looking into this. I was like, what exactly is a burro per se? A burro is a type of donkey. The term burro is often used to specifically refer to donkeys in the western United States, particularly those that are wild or feral. The word burro itself is the Spanish word for donkey. Donkeys evolved from the African wild ass, while horses originated in Eurasia. And it says, now, if you're curious about what a mule is a hybrid between a male donkey and a female horse. A male donkey is called a jack, and a female horse is called a mare. While hennies are the result of a male horse and a female donkey. They call those things jennies. A male horse is a stallion, and a female donkey is a jenny. I remember when I was a kid, I watched that movie, The Black Stallion. I like that movie. I watched it again last year, and it's got, one of the guys who's in the movie was the actor who was the dad in Gremlins. Anyway, so there's your biological fix there. But I thought about that because Lauren hands me this. It's like this piece of trivia. This show is about Mental Mana, and this is called Mental Floss Amazing Facts. For 9 years, it says, during the 1880s, a baboon named Jack worked as a signalman on a South African railroad. He was paid in alcohol and never made a mistake. I guess I have to look into this. Are we sure this was a baboon? That's my first question. Are we sure this was a baboon? Okay. Next one we have here. You know how you have these calendars? I don't know all the names. That there's a calendar where like every day you pull a piece of paper off. Like Mental Floss Amazing Facts. When your eyes get red and irritated after swimming in a public pool, you probably assume chlorine is the culprit. But you should be blaming all the people who peed in the pool. The nitrogen in substances like urine mixes with chlorine to create a compound called chloramine, and that's what bothers your eyeballs. I wonder if how true is this stuff? Maybe they're just trying to gross you out. What's next on Mental Mana here? Hey, you ever thought about this? Why is it called a movie trailer? There's a new movie coming out, and you go, oh, have you seen the trailer? Now, just take a second. Ask yourself, why do you think it's called a movie trailer? That's because that in the old days, apparently, when a movie was over, they would show previews for the next upcoming movie or movies. And so it was like a trailer that was attached to the end of the movie. And then later on, when the industry changed and they said, well, hey, it makes more sense to show the trailer at the beginning when everybody's fixated versus the end when half the people have already gone. So, they switched the trailer to being shown before the movie, the previews, but they kept the name. How about that? Are you fascinated at this point? Oh, yeah. Here's another one. Neil Armstrong. I've brought this up before, but I'll bring it up one more time. Neil Armstrong, first man to walk on the moon, so they say. Have you ever seen that movie, First Man? It's a great movie. Kind of sad, but it's a great movie. I could actually sit here and tell you a story about the first time I saw that at Ramon's Chinese Theater in Hollywood, but hey, enough about me. Neil Armstrong, first man to walk on the moon. Neil A. First name, N-E-I-L. Last name, Armstrong. Starts with an A. N-E-I-L-A. Guess what that is backwards? A-L-I-E-N. What? So you see? Something is happening here. Neil A. is alien backwards. Mere coincidence? You decide. But here's something that I told you I bought something cool. I bought this new virtual reality headset, new to me anyway. It's called a MetaQuest. MetaQuest 3S, I think. And yeah, it's mind-boggling. And when you sit there and you put that thing on your head and you look around and you are in another 3D world, it suddenly starts to become much more clear that everything is virtual reality. That the world that you are in right now is just a very complex, advanced version of that. I really believe that. You know, I've told this story about the first time I got virtual reality. I bought a headset when I was living in Puerto Rico, and I was sitting there and I was floating down this river, and it was just amazing. And you could look up and down and left and right and behind you. And then all of a sudden I shifted positions and banged my shin on the coffee table. And it reminded me that there was another reality there. The VR has gotten so good now. And, you know, I'm not a shill for any of these tech companies. I'm not trying to sell you VR. But if you sit around for an hour and you go through some of these VR territories, then it's almost impossible to take that headset off and look around yourself and not say, okay, this is just another version of virtual reality. And that is why that I think manifestation tools work, because this is a program like the Matrix, and you can tap into it and you can code it and you can adjust the software, and that is how we hack reality. And you can learn more about that if you buy my set called Finding Your Magic at joshuapwarren.com. When we come back, I'm going to read some listener emails. One comes from a woman who said, hey, you asked recently about baptisms and people who have gotten weird results from a baptism video. I'm Joshua P. Warren. You're listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network, and I will be right back.
Life's messy. We're talking spills, stains, pets, and kids. But with Anabae, you never have to stress about messes again. At WashableSofas.com, discover Anabae sofas, the only fully machine-washable sofas inside and out, starting at just $699. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. That means fewer stains and more peace of mind. Designed for real life, our sofas feature changeable fabric covers, allowing you to refresh your style anytime. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa effortlessly. Perfect for cozy apartments or spacious homes. Plus, they're earth-friendly and built to last. That's why over 200,000 happy customers have made the switch. Upgrade your space today. Visit WashableSofas.com now and bring home a sofa made for life. That's WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Big O Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you. Owned by someone in your neighborhood, we offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
With comprehensive reports on local schools you won't find anywhere else, Homes.com is the only place to find the in-depth info home shoppers want. Very in-depth info. Curious about where a school ranks in the state? Look no further. Percentage of teachers in their first or second year? We've got it. Lowest student-teacher ratio? No problem. The best cafeteria lunch in the district for your 9-year-old food blogger? Would it surprise you if we said yes? Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
This is Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang from Las Culturistas with Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang.
JBL Tour Pro 3 earbuds are for those who don't conform to the standard.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get into some touchscreen technology, how about the smart charging case, clear sound? These are not standard things. You're only going to get them with the JBL Tour Pro 3, baby.
And I love the sound of JBL when it goes, boom, boom. These earbuds are packed with innovation because you can't stand out by following others.
Touchscreen smart charging case for one-touch control, instant EQ customization, true adaptive noise canceling, and the one-of-a-kind audio transmitter, which can plug and play with everything from game consoles to in-flight entertainment.
The audio transmitter also allows for JBL Spatial 360 sound that takes any audio and turns it into a 360 immersive experience.
What more could you want? First doesn't follow. Grab a pair at JBL.com.
Welcome back to the final segment of this edition of Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. I am your host, Joshua P. Warren. Dick Van Dyke. If you know Dick Van Dyke, tell him if he wants to come to Vegas, I will buy him dinner. We will sit around and I will ask him what he has learned after all this time on this planet. I bet you, he'll say something like, just laugh and smile. You know, seems like that kind of guy. We go through all kinds of interesting and odd rituals on this planet. I got an email a while back from a buddy of mine, Vance, and he said that there's this phenomenon out there of people who say that they get photographic anomalies when baptisms occur. So, you know, somebody gets baptized and somebody takes a picture, and then, I mean, this is about as spiritual as it gets. Even Jesus went to his cousin John the Baptist and said, "Baptize me." I got this email from a woman named Melissa. She said, "My nephews got baptized a few years ago, and we were not even allowed to take pictures until everything was done. I thought that was so weird. Also, the pastor was wearing an all-red suit, so it kind of felt like the stereotypical devil was preaching. Nonetheless, I did not participate in the communion. It was not a church I normally go to. It was my sister's church. It really did bother me, though, that you couldn't take pictures. Like, what were they hiding? Did they know something was going to show up on the picture? Honestly, that's kind of why I wanted to take the pictures. Thought maybe an orb or a light would show up, and besides just wanting a picture of my nephews. But thanks for letting me share. Keep kicking butt, Joshua. Love the show, Melissa." Well, thank you, Melissa. It's a very interesting and thought-provoking email. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, it'd be kind of intriguing, I guess, to know more about what denomination this was. But I want to keep that invitation out there. If you want to contact me, just go to joshuapwarren.com and scroll down on the homepage there, and you'll find my email address. And I do my best to read every single email. It's impossible for me to reply to all of them, but I do my best to read them all. And occasionally, as you can see, I will read them on this show. And if you have a picture of like a baptism anomaly, I would like to see that. Well, here's a nice one I got. This is from Vicky. She says, "Thank you for the many years you have provided us with so much knowledge, new age thinking and doing, and the amazing reach you have had in my life. As a
a longtime listener, reaching the last years of having spent time on this side of Amazing Life, I am honored to have, quote, known you and those of the Coast to Coast AM family. What a journey. God bless you and your family. Again, thank you for all you do, have been, and have done in reaching out to share with us and challenge us and to allow us to openly dare to see the remarkable and know there is more out there. You have long reminded me of my own son and son-in-law. Thank you, Vicky. How nice is that, huh? You know, most of the emails that I get are just from really wonderful, kind, open, warm-hearted people like Vicky. Thank you so much, Vicky. And that's why I keep doing the show. You know, there are all kinds of different ways to make money in life. I'm sure I'd probably be far richer if I decided to go up the corporate ladder and, you know, I'm articulate, you know, I can sit there and wear a suit and a tie like the next guy and dominate a boardroom meeting. I'd be the head of fill in the blank. But yeah, I like this. I like the realistic interaction that I get with all of you who are interested in. I guess we're all explorers, aren't we? You know, we're all curious. This comes from Melissa. Oh no, sorry. I already read that one. This comes from Dominic. Now, Dominic is in the UK, and Dominic has been a big supporter for a long time. He has listened to my shows for years. He buys just about everything I create, and so when he sends me an email, I really pay attention to that. You know, I'm like, oh, what's he gonna say? I'd love to meet him someday. Dominic, we've never talked before, but if you ever make it to Vegas, well, you and me and Dick Van Dyke are going to have dinner, all right? So he says, something that confused the heck out of me happened on May 21st, possibly in the most banal way, some kind of a manifestation. He said, my electric shaver head had a crack in the side of it, making it not very good to shave with. And so did all the previous ones that I still had around that were of the same model. They don't make Remington shavers anymore, and I dreaded having to buy another one anytime soon. I was wishing for a solution, probably more so asking for a new shaver. I'm not sure which of my wands I used. Suddenly, out of the blue, in a shaving bag that I take on holiday, a completely normal Remington electric shaver head turned up, and it was not cracked. The foils attached were still usable enough, still using them right now, but it should not have been there. In the end, I had to admit defeat and stop questioning it because it was driving me mad and my family members knew nothing about it. And they wouldn't have been hunting for that bag to put it in if they found one lying around, but there's nowhere that shaver head could have come from without a cracked side. And certainly it was not earlier in this bag, which I had taken abroad on holiday back in October. I do acknowledge that in this house, things go missing sometimes and turn up out of the blue in odd places, as if there are poltergeists, gnomes, or pixies on the rampage in the area. But a shaver head had never gone missing that I know about. I would like to learn to be very open for other things to turn up out of the blue that would be useful, but shouldn't be around. But I suppose it's rather mentally jarring. This might be the most banal thing to find, but I have to say that I'm still going to pieces when I think about it. It's a start, though. I don't know if gnomes or pixies are into repairing shaver heads or hunting down spares for locals. Perhaps a UFO not magicked one up. I do think that leprechauns repair shoes, but not electric shavers, and they usually live in Ireland anyway. Might be nice if they could repair or replace a few more broken things, if that was the case. This might be a simpler answer to this, but I don't have it. And then he ends by saying, in parentheses, yes, well, I wonder if your portal machine might already have been having a ripple effect on some of us. Best wishes, Dominic. Well, you know what, Dominic? I have a portal update. It should be within the next month. And you just wait till you hear.
It's chapter 2 in the saga. And I guarantee you, every one of you listening to this show, you're going to like it because every single one of you are going to be able to participate in the next chapter of this experiment. And it's not going to cost you 1 single cent. It is free for all. All right, my friends, thanks for bearing with me as I get back into the swing of things after my surgery. Sorry about any hiccups. So let's all end together on a positive note. If you can, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let us all meditate together on the one, the only, the original, the world famous Good Fortune Tone. That's it for this edition of the show. Follow me at Joshua P. Warren. Plus, visit joshuapwarren.com to sign up for my free e-newsletter to receive a free instant gift and check out the cool stuff in the Curiosity Shop, all at joshuapwarren.com. I have a fun one lined up for you next time, I promise. So please tell all your friends to subscribe to this show and to always remember the golden rule. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your interest and support. Thank you for staying curious. And I will talk to you again soon. You've been listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network.
Well, if you like this episode of Strange Things, wait till you hear the next one. Thank you for listening to the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network.
Let's be real. Life happens. Kids spill. Pets shed. And accidents are inevitable. Find a sofa that can keep up at WashableSofas.com. Starting at just $699. Our sofas are fully machine washable inside and out. So you can say goodbye to stains and hello to worry-free living. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. They're kid-proof, pet-friendly, and built for everyday life. Plus, changeable fabric covers let you refresh your sofa whenever you want. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa anytime to fit your space, whether it's a growing family room or a cozy apartment. Plus, they're earth-friendly and trusted by over 200,000 happy customers. It's time to upgrade to a stress-free, mess-proof sofa. Visit WashableSofas.com today and save. That's WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
This is a stunning story. A single mother, Stacy, falls in love with a charming doctor, Justin, and their whirlwind romance leads to a loving marriage. Or so it seemed. Then, the discovery of a hidden camera planted in the family's home by Justin unearths a devastating betrayal. Based on the #1 hit podcast Betrayal, comes an amazing all-new true crime docuseries on Hulu. Learn new things about this story. Watch Betrayal, Under His Eye, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
Fox One is now live. It's the new way to stream all your Fox favorites all in one place. That means NFL Sundays and college football games, breaking news with the Fox voices you trust, and your favorite shows streamed as they happen so nothing gets spoiled. With Fox One, you get it all live. Edge of your seat plays, jaw-dropping moments, and that feeling like you're right there in the action. Start your 7-day trial today. Offers are subject to change. Go to Fox One for complete terms and conditions. Fox One, we live for live. Streaming now.
Untold Stories, Life with a Severe Autoimmune Condition, a production from Ruby Studio in partnership with Argenix, is back with Season 4. Join me, Martine Hackett, as we explore the realities of life with myasthenia gravis, or MG, and chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy, or CIDP. We'll uncover the stories of resilience and self-advocacy in the face of uncertainty, from overcoming misdiagnosis to finding empowerment in small victories. These are moments that change us. Here's a glimpse of what's in store.
Whenever I go to my specialist, he mentions the R word, remission. Is it possible? Like, is it over? But also knowing it's never really over. But just being able to say, hey, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Stay the course. Don't give up on yourself. Every single person living with autoimmune illness has a life worth living, and it's up to you to define that, to capture that, and to go guns blazing.
Follow and listen to Untold Stories on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
This is an iHeart podcast.
This is an iHeart podcast.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day.
It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on as the forecast calls for football all across the country.
Blockbuster stars, live concerts, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Hey, Benjamin, we've got a surprise for you.
What?
You have a brother, $100 bill just like you.
Hey, I'm Ben.
What?
We just got him for joining America First Credit Union and opening a new checking account.
And
Oh,
you're going to live together at America First.
What?
This is nice.
For a limited time, new members get a $100 cash bonus when they open a checking account, or $50 when they open a youth checking account. So head to AmericaFirst.com and get your money working today. Membership eligibility, terms, and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Did you know Utah is #1 in the nation for economy, fiscal stability, education, and overall lifestyle? So when it comes to banking, stick with the local professionals who know what Utahns need. Bank of Utah's knowledgeable team provides expert guidance and personalized solutions, whether you're saving for the future, growing a business, or just need help managing your money. No matter what your financial situation is, turn to Bank of Utah as your first choice and most trusted financial partner. Bank of Utah. My Utah, my bank. Member FDIC.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck. I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything. Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business? Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot. Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me. Play The Godfather, now at ChumbaCasino.com. Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
The Utah RV Super Show is back September 11th through the 14th at Mountain America Expo Center. Check out the all-new 2026 models and get unbeatable closeout pricing on the 2025s. There's something for every budget with special show financing available. Join us on Thursday, September 11th for Family Day. Only $10 per family. Unplug from distractions and plug into your family adventure. Get discount passes now at UtahRVSupershow.com.
Welcome to the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. Now get ready for Strange Things with Joshua P. Warren.
Welcome to our podcast. Please be aware the thoughts and opinions expressed by the host are their thoughts and opinions only and do not reflect those of iHeartMedia, iHeartRadio, Coast to Coast AM, employees of Premier Networks, or their sponsors and associates. We would like to encourage you to do your own research and discover the subject matter for yourself.
Get ready to be amazed by the Wizard of Weird. This is Strange Things with Joshua P. Warren.
I am Joshua P. Warren, and each week on this show, I'll be bringing you brand new mind-blowing content, news, exercises, and weird experiments you can do at home, and a lot more. On this edition of the show, Pascal's Wager and new money magic. Do you know what Pascal's Wager is? I bet you don't, but if you do, you'll still find this interesting because, well, I guess you already know it's interesting. I swear to you, this might be the most important show that you have ever listened to in your entire life. I'm not saying it is, but it might be. And I know you're thinking, well, that's very profound, but yeah, I mean, I'm telling you. And I decided it was time to bring this up because, you know, I'm still worn out. I'm recovering from a surgery. Last time you heard me was, I guess, a week ago. But I decided to kind of get caught up, and so I've recorded like 2 shows within a couple of days. So, I'm still worn out. I know. You say, well, good Lord, you're only 48. Indiana Jones said it's not the years, it's the mileage. And I have put a lot of miles on these bones. And, you know, it's funny because sometimes people think that, I don't know if you've ever seen like the 1980s version of Little Shop of Horrors where John Candy plays like, I'm the weird host, and he's banging on bells. And I don't feel like I always have to, you know, give you some kind of a gimmick and be like Mr. Energy. I mean, you've been sticking with me all these years. So, you know, what I try to do is provide things that you will find interesting.
You know, I try to be upbeat, I try to be positive, but at the same time, I'm realistic. And when you go to the hospital, and I've never had a real surgery before, when you go to the hospital, you start thinking about your mortality, and it started reminding me of Pascal's wager. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Pascal was a Frenchman. And, the hardest words, I'm an excellent speller. I always win the spelling bees, but, it's always those French words that get you. So, all right. Well, let me look this up for you. Now, you can do this on your own, but, you're listening to me, and I'm getting paid, so here we go. There was a guy named, I guess his name was Blaise Pascal. How would you like it if your parents named you Blaise? B-L-A-I-S-E. I don't speak French again, so, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing any of this stuff right. But this guy, Blaise Pascal, he was born on June 19th of 1623. Yeah, a long time ago. And he died in, August 19th of 1662. He was only 39 when he died. He was a French mathematician, a physicist, inventor, philosopher, and a Catholic writer. Now, I have heard of Pascal's wager for a while. And, of course, most of you probably know that I live in Las Vegas. And I go out and I gamble once in a while for fun. And he was talking about the idea of gambling, but on a much, much more serious, deep level. You'll see what I mean. He was talking about gambling with your soul. It says here, Pascal was a child prodigy, born in a place called Clermont-Ferrand, France. His father was a tax collector, and he was a prodigy, especially when it came to geometry and mathematics. He wrote some kind of significant treatise on the subject at age 16. I'm just looking over this thing, and this guy was obviously, one of those you're like, maybe there was an alien gene involved here, but especially because it says in 1642, he started some pioneering work on calculating machines, later called Pascal's calculators, establishing him as one of the first two inventors of the mechanical calculator. How'd you like to have that on your resume? This guy was one of the inventors of a darn calculator. It says, like his contemporary Rene Descartes, when I was in college, they always, I took philosophy, and they were like, oh, Descartes. He always said, I think, therefore I am. It says, like his contemporary Rene Descartes, Pascal was also a pioneer in the natural and applied sciences. He wrote in defense of the scientific method, produced several controversial results. He made contributions to the study of fluids, pressure, vacuum. All right. Very smart dude. But why am I bringing him up? Why is he the topic of this show? I guess I will tell you this before I get into it. Just, for some reason, it's kind of interesting to talk about how people were born and got educated and whatnot, and then how they died. It says here that he, when he died, that he just got ill for some reason. Again, you're talking the 1600s. They don't know exactly what happened. Said he just got ill and became unstable. His last words were, "May God never abandon me." And there was an autopsy performed. And it said that they revealed grave problems with his stomach and other organs of his abdomen, along with damage to his brain. They're not sure what happened to him. Might be tuberculosis, stomach cancer, or a combination of the two. All right, fine. So, again, why am I bringing this up? Well, I'm bringing it up because that he raised a question that I just bet you have thought about in your life. And it's incredibly simple, but it's also incredibly profound. It might be the most complicated, simple question ever asked. Let that sink in for a minute. Pascal's wager. So this guy, again, very smart, gambler, looking at risks, looking at rewards, and And here was his wager. His argument was, here's something we need to really think about in depth. He said that the potential of gain of believing in God outweighs the potential finite losses if God does not exist, making belief the more rational choice according to these academic sources. So he's basically saying, like right now, if I just go into Google and I type in like Pascal's wager, it says Pascal's wager is a philosophical argument formulated by Blaise Pascal, suggesting it is more rational to believe in God's existence even without proof, because the potential benefits of belief, meaning eternal happiness, outweigh the potential losses, that is, the minor inconveniences of religious practice. Conversely, on the other hand, the potential gains of disbelief, which are minor pleasures, are vastly outweighed by the potential losses, meaning eternal damnation, if God exists. I bet you've thought about this before, but you never thought about it in this way as Pascal's wager. Okay, we're up on a break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you where I fall on this. For those of you who obviously care enough to listen to the show, and then I want to give you some updates about other things that are happening very, very soon, and including a manifestation technique that, I mean, I've been using it, and I've been kind of down in the dumps because of the surgery and recovering and everything. But man, I've been manifesting stuff like you wouldn't believe, and I'm going to tell you all about it when I come back. I am Joshua P. Warren, and I hope that if you go to my website, joshuapwarren.com, you will support the show. Pretty much everything that I make is produced and shipped from the USA. And if you click the link to the Curiosity Share, you can support the show, keep us on the air by buying something nice for yourself or a loved one. But make sure you go to the homepage and sign up for the free and spam-free e-newsletter. Sign up for that, and you will instantly receive an automated email from me with some free online goodies for you. JoshuaPWarren.com. I am Warren, and you are listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network, and I will be right back.
Off? Well, if it's in the sun, may be the best medicine. You can soak up some vitamin D and let the sunlight give your mind and body a boost. This healthy moment is brought to you by Regence Blue Cross Blue Shield. Together, we help.
Where's the best place to binge your favorite true crime podcast? On the edge of your seat or under the Caribbean sun on an award-winning Virgin Voyages ship? This October, set sail on the first ever true crime podcast voyage from Virgin Voyages. Catch live recordings at sea, meet iHeart True Crime hosts, enjoy Halloween-themed parties, and more. All aboard a kid-free, luxurious Virgin Voyages ship. It's like a floating 5-star hotel with plot twists. VirginVoyages.com/truecrime.
Do you need an electrician? Any Hour Services has a team of licensed electricians that can put any size electrical project around your house. Whether it's help troubleshooting, installing a ceiling fan, replacing smoke detectors, or upgrading your old electrical panel, the electricians at Any Hour Services can help. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. Help with electrical projects and repairs is closer than you think. Call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
The Utah RV Super Show is back September 11th through the 14th at Mountain America Expo Center. Check out the all-new 2026 models and get unbeatable closeout pricing on the 2025s. There's something for every budget with special show financing available. Join us on Thursday, September 11th for Family Day. Only $10 per family. Unplug from distractions and plug into your family adventure. Get discount passes now at UtahRVSupershow.com.
You're free now. Free to fill your feed with impossibly chunky chunkers who chunk harder than you ever thought possible.
Cats, corgis, babies, baby penguins, baby pandas, chunky baby pandas.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things. Free to open a world of remote work and a portal into Gametopia. Who's the boss now? Free to be everything you imagine, and then some. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability. Visit select locations only.
Welcome back to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. I am your host, the Wizard of Weird, Joshua P. Warren, beaming into your wormhole brain from my studio in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, where every day is golden and every night is silver. Agietato Zume. You know, the executive producer of this iHeart Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast program is Tom Denheiser, and I've known him for a long time. He's always been just a great guy, you know. I mean, and we were talking the other day, and he said, Josh, take as much time off as you need, you know, we're fine. And so I really appreciate that. But I wanted to get back in the swing of things here, and I mentioned on my last podcast that in addition to having this surgery, I got a CPAP machine. And a lot of people don't really understand that much about CPAP. And listen, I'm not being paid a dime to promote CPAP, but CPAP stands for Continuous Positive Airway Pressure. And so if you have sleep apnea, meaning that you don't breathe, if you stop breathing a certain amount of times in an hour, then they say, okay, you have sleep apnea. And look, so sleeping with a CPAP machine sucks, but it's better than not being able to breathe. And I got one of these masks that has a hose that comes off the top of my head, so that when I flip, I mean, it's not a big issue. But I just figured you might find this interesting. I was kind of joking. I was joking, but it's serious. On my last show, you have teams and stuff if you have sleep apnea, and then now that I have a CPAP machine, my dreams are much more neutral and just psychologically I have a better experience. But I just wanted to share with you, because you will probably never look this up on your own. It appears the CPAP was invented by an Australian doctor in the 1970s. And I don't have all the literature in front of me, but yeah, Dr. Colin Sullivan, Australian physician and professor. Actually, I'm sorry, he invented it in 1980. It says here, applying CPAP for use on adult patients with sleep apnea at the Royal Prince Alfred Hospital in Sydney. And it just makes sure that you get enough air. And I believe that if you have like the next level, like really bad problem, they have something called like a BiPAP machine. I didn't prepare a lot for this show, but yeah, BiPAP, bi-level positive airway pressure. And this is like a CPAP provides continuous air that goes into your nose and your lungs in one way or another, I guess. And then a BiPAP is more I guess like a real Darth Vader machine, like a ventilator. It blows air in when you inhale and then sucks air out when you exhale. I don't know. I'll give you my disclaimer. I don't know anything about anything. I'm not a doctor. But what I can tell you is I've been using my CPAP machine for over 2 weeks now. And yes, it sucks to sleep with something on your face. Yes. But my dreams are so much better. And that's weird, isn't it? Because it makes you think, like, why would you have bad dreams just because that you're not breathing in enough oxygen? Like, what's the relationship there? It makes you think of the human body as being some kind of a robot. And when you get back to Pascal's wager, where he is basically saying, all right, you don't know what's going on here. Let's see. I read something that was very interesting what he said. By the way, folks, if you're relying on politicians to save you, good luck. They're not gonna. Politicians are, I don't think sane people become politicians. You might think that's out of left field, but I'm just telling you, you kind of have to look after yourself. And when you look at yourself, and you have to make judgments for yourself, it basically talks about how in Pascal's wager that you have the option
to take a risk, to take a gamble, and to say either there is a God, and I'm going to try to believe that there is a God and live as if there is a God, and if not, then, if I believed in a God, then what have I got to lose if there's no God? But if there is a God and I don't believe in a God, well, I have a lot to lose. And I decided a long time ago to believe that there is a God. And way of comprehending what God is, I think it's impossible. How many of you have ever gone out on a fishing expedition, catch a fish? You think that fish knows anything about how to get to the moon or get to Mars? You can't comprehend these things. So, to a certain extent, you have to say that, like we're never going to be able to comprehend what God is. God equals the universe. But one of the reasons that I believe that God exists is because of the extraordinary design that I see all around me every single day. The very fact that I exist and you exist. So that to me is, I guess that's about the best piece of evidence that I have, is that I look around and I go, I don't know how this all randomly fell into place. I mean, well, you take a box full of parts and shake it up and sit there for 1 million years, so there's something going to appear. And recently I mentioned this. I got a VR headset, MetaQuest 3S, and when you put on a VR headset and you're literally like sitting there in a virtual where you look up, down, left, right, behind you, and it's all 3D reality. For that moment, I mean, you're not here anymore. You're in that reality. And there was some program that I bought. I can't remember what it was called right now, but it was like a nature program. So you click this button and it would say 1 minute, like, oh, well, you're in the middle of a snowstorm, in Montana, or you're in the middle of you're in a beautiful crystal lake in Sweden, or whatever. And so you look. Was Jurassic World, where you pick that, and the next thing you know, you're sitting in the world as it was 60-some million years ago, supposedly. So when you click this, you're sitting there in like a little tent, and you see the silhouette. It's very realistic, because it's not like dinosaurs are all up in your face roaring at you and some crazy stuff like that. No, it's like very realistic. I guess, what do I know? But I mean, you see the silhouette of like a brontosaurus walking around up there in the woods, and then you look up and you see pterodactyls flying over. So I was sitting there and I was using my imagination. And I was really getting into this mindset that I have traveled back in time, and I'm the only person alive right now. All else that exists are just dinosaurs and crap like that. And all of a sudden, I was amazed to find this sense of peace wash over me. There was a sense of peacefulness that I wasn't expecting. Just imagining that humans are not out there. That many of our biggest problems, think about your biggest problems right now. And think about how many of your problems are connected to the fact that humans exist. And think about how much better your life would be if you lived in the dinosaur days, perhaps. I know you think I've been taking all kinds of drugs. I haven't. That's probably my problem. They gave me some medication, but I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Hey, when we come back, money, magic. I got something new I've been doing, and I'm going to tell you about that. And, oh yeah, I have another weird story for you. Wait till you hear this one. I'm Joshua P. Warren. You're listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM
Paranormal Podcast Network, and I will be right back after these important messages.
Having one of those days? Try going outside. Feel the sun on your skin, the grass under your feet. Just a few minutes in nature can help reset your body and mind. This healthy moment is brought to you by Regence Blue Cross Blue Shield. Together, we health.
Turn everyday spending into an extraordinary escape. Shop with any Mountain America credit or debit card for a chance to win a $5,000 vacation voucher. Simply tap, insert, swipe, or click to be entered to win now until October 31st. Use any card, win any trip from Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/anycard for official rules or to apply. Loans on approved credit. Membership required based on eligibility. Insured by NCUA. Limited time offer. Offer can change or be withdrawn at any time.
Dear future, Toyota leads the way with hybrid tech and all-wheel drive. With style for miles, the Camry goes a long way and gives you up to 51 combined MPG. Now that's mileage. The Corolla Cross is perfectly sized and packed with tech, and the future-forward Prius takes you further. No matter where the road leads, Toyota's hybrid tech and available all-wheel drive get you there. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Amazing food, beautiful dancing, friendly hospitality. Can it get any more Greek than that? Welcome all, or as we say in Greek, kalos orisate, to the best event of the year. Join us as we kick off the 49th Annual Salt Lake City Greek Festival, September 5th, 6th, and 7th. Enjoy all that is Greek at the Salt Lake City Greek Festival. A great chance to experience our culture and taste our food. Salt Lake City Greek Festival, September 5th, 6th, and 7th. Details at saltlakecitygreekfestival.com. Whoop-ah!
The Utah RV Super Show is back September 11th through the 14th at Mountain America Expo Center. Check out the all-new 2026 models and get unbeatable closeout pricing on the 2025s. There's something for every budget with special show financing available. Join us on Thursday, September 11th for Family Day. Only $10 per family. Unplug from distractions and plug into your family adventure. Get discount passes now at UtahRVSupershow.com.
Welcome back to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. I am your host, Joshua P. Warren, and this is the show where the unusual becomes usual. Yeah, a long time ago, Art Bell invited me to be his guest. I was a very young man. He invited me to be interviewed by him on Coast to Coast AM, and I've had just a wonderful relationship with everybody at Premiere and iHeart since then, and I can't even tell you how many things that I've done with Tom Danheiser and George Norrie, but there was a time where I also wanted to be involved in TV, and I honestly, I don't have a big desire to be on TV anymore. I guess there's a number of reasons for that. I really don't care.
This is an iHeart podcast.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day. It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all off. As the forecast calls for football all across the country. Blockbuster stars, live concerts, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch this at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Tired of spills and stains on your sofa? WashableSofas.com has your back. Featuring the Anabay collection, the only designer sofa that's machine washable inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly prices. That's right, sofas start at just $699. Enjoy a no-risk experience with pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and changeable slipcovers made with performance fabrics. Experience cloud-like comfort with high-resilience foam that's hypoallergenic and never needs fluffing. The sturdy steel frame ensures longevity, and the modular pieces can be rearranged anytime. Check out WashableSofas.com and get up to 60% off your Anabay sofa, backed by a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not absolutely in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping or restocking fees. Every penny back. Upgrade now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
Big O Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you. Owned by someone in your neighborhood, we offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays are for football. That's why we're here to help you get your next DIY project done, even when the clock isn't on your side. Whether that's a new Filtrete filter or Bosch and Cobalt power tools, Lowe's has everything you need to feel like the MVP of DIY. So get it done and earn your Sunday. Shop now, in-store and online. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
Welcome to the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. Now get ready for Strange Things with Joshua P. Warren.
Welcome to our podcast. Please be aware the thoughts and opinions expressed by the host are their thoughts and opinions only and do not reflect those of iHeartMedia, iHeartRadio, Coast to Coast AM, employees of Premier Networks, or their sponsors and associates. We would like to encourage you to do your own research and discover the subject matter for yourself.
Get ready to be amazed by the Wizard of Weird. This is Strange Things with Joshua P. Warren.
I am Joshua P. Warren, and each week on this show, I'll be bringing you brand new, mind-blowing content, news, exercises, and weird experiments you can do at home, and a lot more. On this edition of the show, who is Señor Misterioso? Yes, who is Señor Misterioso? That's a good question. It's a good question, isn't it? Do you even know what I'm talking about? I seriously doubt it, but this is not a joke or a fluke. It's a real topic, and I guess I should just begin by telling you how it all unfolded for me. And by the way, I'm getting over a cold, so forgive me if my voice sounds a bit on the rough side. You know, George Noory, the host of Coast to Coast AM, has just an incredibly busy schedule. I mean, he, in addition to his radio show, he does TV shows and he travels all over the country every year and does these live events called George Noory Live, where he'll rent out a theater and sit there on stage and interview guests in person, in addition to other entertainment. George likes to sing songs and tell jokes. It's a fun time for all. And once in a while, George Noory and his producer, Tom Danheiser, invite me to come to these events and be one of the guests who sits there and talks to George and then answers questions for the audience. I did one in Asheville, North Carolina, my hometown, did one in Boise, Idaho. And back in 2021, George did an event in Everett, Washington. Talking about Washington State here, of course, Everett, Washington, which is outside of Seattle. And I had never been to Seattle before, and I'd always wanted to go there. So I was more than happy to fly up there
My wife Lauren came with me, and we, in addition to the show, since I'd never been there, I added in all this extra time so I could drive around and explore the countryside and go into the mountains where all the Bigfoot sightings are, and go to the coast and all that kind of stuff. Well, one of the places that was just a must-see for me, one of the places on my bucket list in Seattle, is this store called Archie McPhee. And I mean, it's a novelty shop. I will say that it's one of a kind, and I would say it is the ultimate novelty shop in the world. I was, of all the things I did in Seattle, I mean, right there, one of the top things was to go to Archie McPhee. If you go to their website, and by the way, I'm not affiliated with Archie McPhee, but it's McPhee, McPhee, McPhee.com. It says, for more than 30 years, Archie McPhee has been bringing strange and amazing things to the world. We design and manufacture the kinds of impractical items that make life better. It says, located in Seattle, our owner, Mark Paulo, started the business selling rubber lizards and other crazy things out of his house in LA. He found that people couldn't get enough of his collectible junk, but he needed space for his company to grow. Risking it all, he packed his entire inventory into a U-Haul truck and headed for Seattle. In 1983, he set up shop with 2 employees in Seattle's Fremont district using the name Archie McPhee. It's a fascinating story, and there's actually a really cool book about the history of it called Who Would Buy This? The Archie McPhee Story. And he just, this guy came up with all of these just like crazy, goofy novelty items and has sold, I don't even know how many, to stay in business. So anyway, one day, Lauren and we drive up to the Archie McPhee store, and I walked inside and I was just like, oh, I mean, it's one of those things where it was so overwhelming to go into that store that it was almost frustrating, because it's like I wanted to see everything, but all at once, and that's impossible. So I just had to take it item by item. And of course, this is one of the problems with me when I travel. I'll be like, oh, I'm going to here's my budget for this trip, and I'll have a nice little trip budgeted out, and I'll go there and I'll be like, well, let's check out the local antique stores. And before you know it, I'm like boxing up stuff and shipping it back to myself. I get home and my trip costs twice what I was expecting, because I buy all this stuff like, oh, I'm never going to find that anywhere else. It's like earlier this year, we went to San Diego on vacation, and like 2 hours before our airplane left, we go to San Diego Antique and Unique, and walk in, and Lauren goes, wow, look at that beautiful vintage Italian fountain. Yeah, like a big fountain. I'm like, how can we get that to Vegas? Got to have it. So anyway, a few days later, after I'm back from the trip, truck pulls up my driveway, and there's 2 people like unloading a fountain and all these other boxes. Like, man, that was an expensive vacation. Getting back to the story at hand. As I was walking through Archie McPhee, and they also have, in addition to their products, they have interesting exhibits and displays, and they have gaffs and interactive stuff you can do. I started seeing these products about Signor Misterioso. Now, I'm talking about things like air fresheners and refrigerator magnets and lapel pins and stuff like that. And it just has this guy. He's standing there with his arms behind his back, wearing a white 3-piece suit and a white fedora, and he has a little mustache and kind of an expressionless face. And I was just like, well, who is Signor Misterioso, right? And I never saw a good explanation for. So I was like, whatever the marketing is here, it's working for me. So I actually bought some Signor Misterioso stuff, not even knowing who Signor Misterioso was, and didn't even ask them, because again, I just had too much on my mind. So then I got back home and I started going through my stuff, and I was like, who is this guy Signor Misterioso? This rather pleasant, mild-mannered looking man wearing the fedora. And I realized that back around the year 2000, Archie McPhee actually made a Signor Misterioso action figure. And I thought, well, that looks cool. That looks like something I should have in my collection because it glows in the dark. And I realized that you couldn't find it anymore. I guess they don't make it anymore. And I got online and searched, and I couldn't find one for sale online. And so I became very interested in just who this person is, Signor Misterioso. Well, guess what? I finally found one of these action figures online the other day, and I bought it. It was not cheap, and it's still brand new in the package. Now, let me read to you the back of this. The card here that this action figure is on. And if I can remember, I'll ask Lauren to put a picture of this on my show's Instagram page, which is just, I think it's just Joshua P. Warren Podcast on
on Instagram. Senor Mysterioso, now you're connected. Bring danger and mystery to your mundane existence. Featuring Glow Atomic Suit. It says on the back, is Senor Mysterioso an extremely dangerous man or just a harmless socialite in a glowing suit? He has inexplicably become entangled in all the major events in the last half of the 20th century, and nobody is sure just how much he knows. His motives are unclear, but there is documentation of meetings with extraterrestrials, Howard Hughes, George Steinbrenner, J.D. Salinger, Chuck Norris, David P. Reinhardt, and Pee Wee Herman. Photos have shown him leaving the White House late at night, but no records of his visits can be found. He once had lunch with Jack Nicholson at Pink's, although Mr. Nicholson's agent fervently denies this. Of course, there are internet cults that worship him. He has a Costco membership, but is not a member of the AAA, even though they offered him his first year for free. It is said his fee for product endorsement would be record-breaking. He has declined a blank check from Hollywood for the movie rights of his life, and Publishers Clearinghouse says he is a $1 million winner, but the prize money remains unclaimed. He has never been seen without his well-tailored linen suit and fedora. The function of his suit is a mystery, as is its unusual luminescence. The Men's Warehouse has engaged its finest private detectives to obtain the secret of the suit to no avail. Many believe that the suit allows him to vanish into thin air, as if stepping in or out of another dimension. In some circles, the elimination of Senor Mysterioso and his atomic suit is of the utmost priority. To others, he is a sought-after dinner speaker, even more so than Henry Kissinger. Who is he? Why is he here? And who trims that impressive mustache? That was written by somebody with the Accoutrement Company, which was the vision of Archie McPhee, around the year 2000. Sounds pretty crazy, doesn't it? Well, guess what? Guess what? Senor Mysterioso is real. Yeah. Bet you didn't see that one coming. And when we come back from this break, I will explain. Do you like this show? You want me to keep doing it? Well, then you better support it. If you live near Asheville, North Carolina, please come take my Haunted Asheville ghost tours. They run year-round, even when there's snow on the ground. HauntedAsheville.com. But wherever you are in the world, please go to my website, JoshuaPWarren.com. There is no period after the P. And when you go there, buy something cool for yourself or a loved one in the Curiosity Shop. And also, be sure to sign up on the homepage there for my free and spam-free e-newsletter, and you will instantly receive an email from me with some free online gifts like a good luck charm, a money magic secret, all that and more at JoshuaPWarren.com. I am Joshua P. Warren, and you're listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. And I will be right back.
Welcome to Lazy Days. For nearly 50 years, we've been there for you, helping people turn RV dreams into destinations. Today, Lazy Days RV is here for you, with state-of-the-art dealerships, dedicated people, and popular brands. And no matter where the road takes you, Lazy Days will be here for you with RV service centers all across the nation. We are Lazy Days, here for you.
There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabe sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash. Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design and changeable slipcovers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabe has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day. It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on. As the forecast calls for football all across the country. Blockbuster stars, live concert, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Big O Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you, owned by someone in your neighborhood. We offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
Welcome back to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. I am your host, the Wizard of Weird, Joshua P. Warren, beaming into your wormhole brain from my studio in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, where every day is golden and every night is silver. Agitato Zume! And I just realized that my wife is probably going to be miffed at me when she hears this show, because she's going to say that I made it sound like that she pressured me into buying the vintage Italian fountain that we have in our atrium. And that is not the case. It was all my idea. And no, honestly, we both love this fountain. I guess now we'll have to put a picture of this thing also, if we can remember, on the show's Instagram page, because it's big. I mean, it comes up to my waist. I'm 6'2", and then it has all these fancy lights and little cherubs and things on it. And I've never seen one like it. And we love the way it sounds. It has just that right. Anyway, it brings a lot of peace and good feng shui to the house. My wife will tell you she can't ever pressure me to do anything. All right, let's get back to the story, shall we? Senor Mysterioso. Reading that to you, doesn't it remind you right off the bat of the Dos Equis most interesting man in the world, right? You remember that campaign? Let's see. Started in 2006, ended in 2018. Why would you end that? The most interesting man in the world selling beer. I get off on these tangents and I go down these rabbit holes, and I was like, who was that guy who played the most interesting man? He's an actor named Jonathan Goldsmith, and he is now 86 years old. And because I don't remember seeing him in any other movies, but he's done a lot of work, obviously, over the years. And listen to this. It says that that man, we're talking about the actor now who was in the Dos Equis commercials, not Senor Mysterioso. Don't let me confuse you. The actor in those commercials, Goldsmith, it says he first established himself as an actor in Western films. And it says that in this film, 1976, called The Shootist, which I've heard of that, but I don't think I've seen it, he played a villain who was shot between the eyes by John Wayne. And it says John Wayne fired blood capsules from a special pellet gun at point blank range into Goldsmith's face for 7 painful takes. Actors, they seem to have had more fortitude back in the day, don't you think? Nowadays, I don't think they would stand for that. They would want some CGI or something. Back then, John Wayne, guys like him, and Jonathan Goldsmith, when they decided to make a movie, they were ready to take some pain. All right. Senor Mysterioso. I'm looking at the action figure right now. It's about 4.5 inches tall. It's in the plastic. Hear that? He just looks like the ultimate gentleman. 3-piece suit and tie, fedora, mustache. Well, I started looking into it, and I figured that this was probably just some character that Archie McPhee Company made up just to, like all their other wacky stuff, just to have an interesting product to sell. But nope, he was real. Here's one article I found right off the bat. It says, mystery solved. Senor Mysterioso is in fact a Venezuelan saint. What? Well, it turns out he's not a saint, but he is getting close. This man is named Jose Gregorio Hernandez. He was born, one day after my birthday. He was born on October 26th of 1864, and he died on June 29th of 1919. He was a Venezuelan physician, and it says that he became a highly renowned doctor more so after his death. He was beatified by the Catholic Church in 2021. Whoa. So that, okay, when here's what I'm not Catholic, but here's my understanding of Catholicism. After someone is dead, if that person continues to be very highly revered by members of the Catholic Church, then they will eventually go to, I suppose, a bishop, and they will say, we want to recommend, that this person be beatified, which means that you're on the way to becoming a saint. And if I'm not mistaken here, okay, let me just make sure. I don't want to step on anybody's toes here. It says beatification from the Latin, which basically means blessed, is a recognition accorded to the Catholic Church of a deceased person's entrance into heaven and capacity to intercede on behalf of individuals who pray in their name. Beata is the plural form referring to those who have undergone the process of beatification. They possess the title of blessed before their names. So I think once you go to a bishop and you say, enough people say, like, we want this person to be beatified, well, then they form a commission or a committee, I guess, and that committee investigates the person who is being recommended and goes over their life with a fine-tooth comb, and then they try to figure out if that person's eligible, if they really were as good as everybody says. And then I think after that, there has to be at least a miracle that is attributed to that person. And I read somewhere, I wrote this down, I heard, I think it was a bishop say one time that for them, when they go through this process, the miracle attributed to this individual must be, quote, instant, comprehensive, and lasting. And so eventually this person can become a saint if it meets those requirements over time. Let me tell you more about this fellow. He was born in a small village in the state of Trujillo. I guess it's called Trujillo in Venezuela. It says he spent the entirety of his childhood in his hometown, where his mother worked as a housekeeper and his father sold pharmaceuticals and livestock. At the age of 13, he told his parents of his desire to go to law school and become a lawyer, but was persuaded by his mother to pursue a career in medicine instead. So he went off and finally got his degrees. And he graduated in 1888 as a medical doctor. And from 1891 to 1916, he dedicated himself to teaching, to medicine, to religious practice as well. He made 2 attempts to begin studies for the priesthood, but his fragile physical conditions would ultimately stand in his way. That's interesting, isn't it? He's a great doctor, but he has some, I don't know what they mean by fragile physical conditions. But he decided, I guess, combining his medical prowess with his faith, to start treating the poor for free, and even bought them medicines with his own money. He published some important papers in some scientific journals. It says when 1918 hit with the Spanish flu there in Venezuela, he treated patients freely all over the place, and just had a knack for healing people using both faith and prayer as well as, science. And then it says that he died in 1919 at the age of 54 when he was struck by an automobile. How about that? Is that something? He helps all these people, and then he gets hit by a car. Hopefully it was a fast and painless death. But it says here, after his death, Hernandez's fame began to spread. Claims were made around the country that miracles had been experienced in cases where his intercession before God had been evoked. Eventually, his name became known all over Latin America and Spain. His healing help is often invoked by both doctors and patients. He is also called upon for protection during overland journeys. In 1949, Venezuelan Catholic Church officials began the process of determining whether or not Hernandez was eligible for sainthood. In 1985, the Holy See granted him the title of Venerable, and then the next step in the process for Hernandez was that of beatification. Okay, so you got to be venerable before you can be beatified. I thought there was a step in there. In June of 2020, Pope Francis decided in favor of the beatification of Jose Gregorio Hernandez after the recovery of a girl who had been shot in the head. And this had been recognized as a miracle attributed to him. The solemn proclamation was made in a mass celebrated on the 30th of April, 2021. All right, we're up on a break. When we come back, let's talk a little bit more about, like, there's a relic from this guy. There's a part of his dead body that travels around, and people say it heals them. Maybe you could take advantage of this. I don't know. There's a lot to talk about, but, well, just stay tuned. I'm Joshua P. Warren, and you're listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network, and I will be back after these important messages.
Welcome to Lazy Days. For nearly 50 years, we've been there for you, helping people turn RV dreams into destinations. Today, Lazy Days RV is here for you, with state-of-the-art dealerships, dedicated people, and popular brands. And no matter where the road takes you, Lazy Days will be here for you with RV service centers all across the nation. We are Lazy Days, here for you.
Tired of spills and stains on your sofa? WashableSofas.com has your back. Featuring the Anabe collection, the only designer sofa that's machine washable inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly prices. That's right, sofas start at just $699. Enjoy a no-risk experience with pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and changeable slipcovers made with performance fabrics. Experience cloud-like comfort with high-resilience foam that's hypoallergenic and never needs fluffing. The sturdy steel frame ensures longevity, and the modular pieces can be rearranged anytime. Check out WashableSofas.com and get up to 60% off your Anabe sofa, backed by a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not absolutely in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping or restocking fees. Every penny back. Upgrade now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day. It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on. As the forecast calls for football all across the country. Blockbuster stars, live concerts, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Big O Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you. Owned by someone in your neighborhood, we offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
Welcome back to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. I'm your host, Joshua P. Warren, and this is the show where the unusual becomes usual. You know, I just realized that I may have actually made my wife more angry at me by saying what I said in the last segment, because what if she says, you know, I wasn't miffed that in the first segment you suggested that I pressured you into buying the vintage Italian fountain until you brought it up again in the second segment. And then that made it sound like I really did pressure you into buying it, because now people will think that, you know, I'm the kind of person who would be miffed over something like that, and that you had to backpedal to make sure that I wasn't miffed, even though now I am. Geez, you know what? I'm just going to shut up right now, or she's going to be super PO'd. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, Señor Misterioso. So, there's this article here. Well, let's see. Oh, yeah. This is Reuters, published, October 26th on his birthday, 2020. It says, Venezuela exhumes remains of doctor beatified by Vatican. Yes, Señor Misterioso. Venezuelan forensic experts on Monday exhumed the remains of Jose Gregorio Hernandez, whose beatification decree was signed by Pope Francis. It says the Vatican announced the beatification of Hernandez, a doctor known for treating the poor during the Spanish flu pandemic a century ago. His remains were exhumed. Isn't that weird? His remains were exhumed in a ceremony at a church in Caracas, quote, to guarantee the prolonged preservation of his body, end quote. The exhumation will collect relics, including skeletal remains and clothing, which will be distributed to dioceses in Venezuela, the Holy See, and to sanctuaries created in other countries in honor of Hernandez. It says he was, of course, they talk about a little bit of his life, known as the Doctor of the Poor, died in 1919 after being hit by a car. And then it says the church cited Yaxari Solorzano, a girl who in 2017 defied doctors' predictions that she would either die or be unable to walk and speak after being shot in the head following an attempted robbery. She was 10 years old at the time. So that's more detail on that case. It is said that her mother prayed to Hernandez to save the life of her daughter, and her daughter walked out of the hospital several weeks later after fully recovering from her injuries. Isn't that something? I don't know who started calling him Senor Misterioso, by the way. I haven't found that, but I guess, it kind of makes sense. He just looks like such a mysterious guy. Here's a piece, MiamiArch.org. It says, when she had kidney surgery 18 years ago, Lydia Alcala prayed to Jose Gregorio Hernandez, known as the Venezuelan Doctor of the Poor. She prayed that everything would go well. After a week after the procedure, quote, he visited me. It was him. He came as a doctor with 2 assistants and opened the wound. He told me not to worry, that everything was fine. She went on to say, since then, I have not felt any pain. I am doing very well, end quote. She only has 1 kidney, and everything's just going fine for her. And, it says, listen to this now. It says that Miami was the last stop of a 10-day visit to several U.S. cities, including New York, Washington, D.C., and Boston, where this cardinal had masses, and he brought with him a relic of Jose Gregorio, whom Pope Francis had just declared blessed a year ago. The relic was a phalanx. That's a piece of a finger, a phalanx of one of his fingers, and it's going to remain in a cathedral in Caracas. And then the cardinal said, quote, but we have also left authentic relics in cities we have visited, end quote. Wow. Isn't that, how strange is that? A lot of people, they die and they get cremated. But, what do you do? I guess like there are no relics from St. Joan of Arc, right? But so you dig up a dead person and you get the remains and you take those remains around, and people believe those remains have power. If you go to look up exactly what a relic is, in religion, a relic is an object or article of religious significance from the past. It usually consists of the physical remains or personal effects of a saint or other person preserved for the purpose of veneration as a tangible memorial. Relics are an important part or aspect of some forms of Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, shamanism, and many other religions. Relic derives from a Latin word which means remains. I remember, of course, very well. Of course, I used to spend a lot of time in Puerto Rico. And whenever people would come to Puerto Rico, even though I lived in Boca Raton, which is on the opposite side of the island from San Juan, people would come to Puerto Rico and I'd take them on excursions, and I would always take them into the Basilica there in San Juan, where there is, at least there was, I haven't been there in 7 years now, but a glass case that had the body of a saint, Saint Pius, a Roman martyr. And they had kind of like a fake face on him. I think it was kind of like a wax face. But you could still see very clearly parts of his skull. And let's see, I wonder, I don't remember when he died exactly, but also that church is cool because it has the tomb of Ponce de Leon. Ponce de Leon, the first governor of Puerto Rico, who also, of course, was famous for searching for the Fountain of Youth. And I think I can make a pretty good case that he found the Fountain of Youth in some of Puerto Rico's bioluminescent bays, because Puerto Rico has more year-round bioluminescent days than any other place in the world. And there's, let me just tell you, if there's one thing that you have to do before you die, go to Puerto Rico, go out to the island of Yaquez and jump into have a boat take you out. Hopefully they still do that. Some people are against letting people swim in the bio bay, but I bet they still do. Have somebody take you out to that bio bay and just jump into that warm water about 8 or 9 o'clock at night after you've had a couple of rums, and it'll be the most magical moment of your life. So Senor Misterioso is now, he's being his relics are being taken all around the world, it sounds like. And I don't know, would you feel okay praying to somebody like that to intercede on your behalf? Some people would say that's blasphemous to pray to anything other than God or Jesus. Well, you know what? I got this. Excuse me. I have this action figure in my hands right now. And again, it's rare. And I was thinking that maybe what I would do is open this thing right here
with you on the show. And I know some of you who are collectors are like, no, don't do it. That's insane. Well, you have to understand, I'm the kind of guy who, like, if I buy like a vintage magazine and it's in the plastic sleeve, like a comic book or something like that, I will pop it right open and pull it out and read it, because it doesn't do me any good sitting on a shelf. I want to enjoy the words. I want to enjoy the images. I realize, yes, it's not going to be as valuable in the future after I am dead, but I don't really care about that. I care about, experiencing what the artist wanted me to experience. So I was part of my plan was to open the Senor Misterioso right here. But then, you know what? I was looking at it during the break, and I thought to myself, it looked. I mean, the art is so great. You can still see him glowing in the dark. There's kind of like an optical illusion behind him. On the back of it, the whole story is there. And I know that if I opened him, then he would just get disconnected from the card that has all the information on it. And so I actually have decided, not because of any collector reasons or anything like that, I just like the way he looks. So I'm going to keep it that way. And I don't think it would do me much good to open this. But I'm going to charge him up,
make sure he goes really well, and I'm going to put him right next to my bed, and I'm going to say, Senor Misterioso, help me get over this cold. All right, we'll see what happens. We're up our break. You know what? Speaking of miracles, you know how I've been testing water for places like Lourdes, France? Well, it occurred to me that I should test some water from the River Jordan. That's where Jesus was baptized. When we come back from this break, I'm going to tell you
what I discovered when I tested water from the River Jordan. I'm Joshua P. Warren. You're listening to Strange Things on the iHeart Radio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. And I will be right back.
Welcome to Lazy Days. For nearly 50 years, we have been there for you, helping people turn RV dreams into destinations. Today, Lazy Days RV is here for you, with state-of-the-art dealerships, dedicated people, and popular brands. And no matter where the road takes you, Lazy Days will be here for you with RV service centers all across the nation. We are Lazy Days, here for you.
Let's be real. Life happens. Kids still. Pets shed. And accidents are inevitable. Find a sofa that can keep up at washablesofas.com. Starting at just $699. Our sofas are fully machine washable inside and out. So you can say goodbye to stains and hello to worry-free living. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. They're kid-proof, pet-friendly, and built for everyday life. Plus, changeable fabric covers let you refresh your sofa whenever you want. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa anytime to fit your space, whether it's a growing family room or a cozy apartment. Plus, they're earth-friendly and trusted by over 200,000 happy customers. It's time to upgrade to a stress-free, mess-proof sofa. Visit washablesofas.com today and save. That's washablesofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day.
It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on. As the forecast calls for football all across the country.
Blockbuster stars, live concert, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Big O Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you. Owned by someone in your neighborhood, we offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
Welcome back to segment of this edition of Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. I am your host, Joshua P. Warren, and I've been thinking about how my wife is going to feel about this No, I'm joking. Here's one of the reasons that we've been together for so long is because we both have a sense of humor, and we're always, joking, and I hate to admit it, but my wife Lauren, she's pretty smart. Occasionally, she even beats me at Jeopardy and Trivial Pursuit, and that's horrifying. As a matter of fact, I was talking about drinking rum. I was reading about rum the other day, and there is this famous Cuban singer. I don't recall his name right now, but he died when he was 95 years old. And of course, everybody would say, "Well, what's the key?" And he said, "I like to every day have mutton soup and rum." And so I thought, mutton soup. I'm not exactly sure what mutton is, so I looked it up. And so anyway, I go to Lauren and said, "Hey, Lauren, you know what mutton is?" And she goes, "Yeah, it's a sheep." Yeah, that's right. And I said, I was doing some research on it, and I like to eat lamb chops, by the way. Sorry, vegetarians or lovers of full-grown sheep. I said, I never actually, realized that, like, when a guy has these big, long sideburns that come down, we call them mutton chops. They call them that because they look like lamb chops. And she goes, "Yeah, you didn't know that?" I said, "I never really thought about that before." She goes, "Really?" Well, how about this one? Do you know why we call sideburns sideburns? They were named after the American Civil War general Ambrose Burnside, who had sideburns, thick sideburns by way of a mustache, but left the chin clean shaven, and so people just, I guess they reversed the name Burnside into sideburns. So there's some useless information for you. Try that out on your spouse and see if your spouse knows why mutton chops are called mutton chops. Let me know about that, and let me know if a miracle happens also when you invoke the name of Signor Mysterioso. Of course, I recently did a podcast about studying water from Lourdes, France, which has long been associated with miraculous phenomena. And when I took that water, as you may recall, and looked at it under high magnification, I think it was about 1,200 times, I was astounded to see over and over again these things, and this is in the distilled water. Actually, let me put that. No, what I did was I took water from Lourdes, I put it in a distiller, evaporated everything, took what was left over, and looked at that under a microscope 1,200 times, and I saw a bunch of particles that looked very cross-like or crucifix-like. And if you don't know what I'm talking about and you haven't seen this, I turned it into a sigil. Just go to thesigillab.com. Sigil is spelled S-I-G-I-L, thesigillab.com, and you can scroll down. Okay, there it is. I'm looking at it right now. I have an actual picture of what I got from the Lourdes water, as well as the sigil that I turned it into. And I mean, it just sort of blew my mind. I think you should take this sigil if you are in need of some healing or some miraculous intervention. Take that sigil
and use it. Meditate on it. Just look at it. That's all you have to do, and let me know if anything amazing happens to you. There's also a sigil there of Einstein's brain, but that's another podcast I did. My point is, I was astounded by how cross-like and how sort of archetypal these objects were that came from the Lord's water. And so then I was thinking about, other water to test, and I'm going to have a podcast coming out soon with some world-class, unprecedented results regarding paracymatics. But I took water from the River Jordan. You hear about the River Jordan. That is where Jesus was baptized, in the Levant that flows right north to south through the Sea of by or through Jordan, Syria, Israel, the Palestinian territories. And not only is this where Jesus was baptized, but the Israelites crossed promised land. Joshua led them in on the Bible story. Moses, he was not allowed to take them all the way to it. He got them pretty close. He got to look at it from a mountaintop, and Joshua took them into the promised land. And it was actually, I think if I recall properly, the Bible says it was during like a flood season, and it was pretty treacherous to get across the river at that time. So anyway, there's no way I'm going to fly over there right now and collect any water from Jordan, but I believe to be a credible source. I have no way of knowing for certain. A credible source of Jordan River water. Now I ordered it, which is the same thing I did with Lourdes. Lourdes is a little easier to verify because there's like a gift shop there. You're getting stuff from their gift shop. But so I bought this water that's supposedly from the Jordan River. I did the same thing. Put it in a distiller, evaporated it down, took what was left over, put it under the microscope, and it just looked like a bunch of random blobs scattered all over the place. And that's what I've gotten so far from every other water than the water I got from Lourdes. And so that's why it's like the more I do this, the more significant I think the water from Lourdes is. And I don't know if it has to do with the water itself, or if it has to do with the fact that the water is very highly blessed. For one thing, it's exposed to all these people who are there generating this enormous amount of positive energy and healing energy. But then also it's specifically blessed by a priest before it gets to you. I haven't made it to a Catholic church yet to collect some of their holy water, like a local Catholic church, to put under a microscope and see what it looks like. That's on my list of many things to do. But so I wish I could report to you that I saw something fantastic about the water from Jordan. But again, the fact that I did not goes even further to enforcing how that there's something special about the water that I got from Lourdes. And again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to thesigillab.com, SIGIL, and scroll down, look at it, use it for free. And also, if you want to get a personalized sigil, as I record this, we are accepting requests today. We're about to bump the price up. It may already be bumped up by the time you hear this. We gave everybody a little bit of a discount for the holidays, but that is not going to last very long. I guess here's one thing I'll leave you with. If you follow me in my work, you probably know that, Lauren and I love Chihuahuas. And we have a little Chihuahua, and her name is Dolly. And, sometimes she sleeps in the bed, and sometimes she sleeps downstairs, and she loves her little cage. We don't even have to close the door on her cage. She just goes there and loves it. She's got like a heating pad and stuff in there. This dog is spoiled. And just today, I have a very extensive alarm system in my house with the cameras and everything. So at one point, she alerted, like one of my cameras went off, and she popped her head up, and she's looking around like there's something downstairs. And I was asleep upstairs. And I heard some kind of weird noise, and then I heard what sounded like, I don't know, an EVP. I mean, this just happened hours ago. And I'm not big on EVP. If you send me something like an EVP, I'll probably just turn around and forward it to my buddy Dean Worsing. He's the real expert on that. I did do a show, episode 12, called Amazing Paranormal Audio that you can listen to. But I'm not an EVP expert. But I swear it sounded like something may have been talking downstairs. And that's right next to where Kennedy, the haunted doll, is. And so I may have an update for you on that soon. But for now, my friends, we are out of time. I hope you've enjoyed the show. But
Do yourself a breath. If you can, close your eyes. Let us all meditate together on the good fortune tongue. That's it for this edition of the show. Follow me at Joshua P. Warren. Plus, visit joshuapwarren.com to sign up for my free e-newsletter to receive a free instant gift, and check out the cool stuff in the Curiosity Shop, all at joshuapwarren.com. I have a fun one lined up for you next time, I promise. So please tell all your friends to subscribe to this show and to always remember the golden rule. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your interest and support. Thank you for staying curious. And I will talk to you again soon. You've been listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network.
Well, if you like this episode of Strange Things, wait until you hear the next one. Thank you for listening to the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network.
There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabe sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloth-like rain duvet can go straight into your wash. Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design and changeable slipcovers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabe has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Did you know Apple Card is designed to help you pay off your balance faster with smart payment suggestions? And because fees don't help you, Apple Card doesn't have any. So if your credit card is an Apple Card, maybe it should be. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Variable APRs range from 18.24% to 28.49% based on creditworthiness. Rates as of July 1st, 2025. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Every day has a to-do list, but Enjoy Belvita to yours can help you knock out the rest of it. Belvita breakfast biscuits are a tasty and convenient breakfast option when paired with low-fat yogurt and fruit that provides steady energy all morning. While Belvita Energy Snack Bites give you the perfect mid-morning refuel. Best part, they both taste great. So, make the most out of your morning with a bite of Belvita. Pick up a pack of Belvita at your local store today.
Fox One is now live. It's the new way to stream all your Fox favorites all in one place. That means NFL Sundays and college football games, breaking news with the Fox voices you trust, and your favorite shows streamed as they happen so nothing gets spoiled. With Fox One, you get it all live. Edge of your seat plays, jaw-dropping moments, and that feeling like you're right there in the action. Start your 7-day trial today. Offers are subject to change. Go to Fox One for complete terms and conditions. Fox One, we live for live. Streaming now.
This is an iHeart podcast. This is an iHeart podcast.
Life's messy. We're talking spills, stains, pets, and kids. But with Anabe, you never have to stress about At WashableSofas.com, discover Anabe Sofas, the only fully machine washable sofas inside and out, starting at just $699. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. That means fewer stains and more peace of mind. Designed for real life, our sofas feature changeable fabric covers, allowing you to refresh your style anytime. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa effortlessly. Perfect for cozy apartments or spacious homes. Plus, they're earth-friendly and built to last. That's why over 200,000 happy customers have made the switch. Upgrade your space today. Visit WashableSofas.com now and bring home a sofa made for life. That's WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day.
It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on as the forecast calls for football all across the country.
Blockbuster stars, live concerts, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start start.
Watch The Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. NBC.
Big O Tires has more than 460 locations wide. Chances are there's a location by someone in your neighborhood. We offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
Wasn't that delicious? So good.
Your bill, ladies.
I got it. No, I got it. Seriously, I insist. I insisted first. Oh, don't be silly. You don't be silly.
People with the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card prefer to pay because they earn unlimited % cash rewards on purchases.
Okay, rock, paper, scissors for it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No!
The Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Terms apply.
Welcome to the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. Now get ready for Strange Things with Joshua P. Warren.
Welcome to our podcast. Please be aware the thoughts and opinions expressed by the host are their thoughts and opinions only and do not reflect those of iHeartMedia, iHeartRadio, Coast to Coast AM, employees of Premier Networks, or their sponsors and associates. We would like to encourage you to do your own research and discover the subject matter for yourself.
Content, news, exercises, and weird experiments you can do at home. And a lot more. On this edition of the show, I have been warned. I have been warned. And here is why. You probably know that I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. And about 2.5 years ago, I purchased some land north of here in Rachel, Nevada, near the Little Alien Inn and right beside Area 51. I purchased that land specifically to produce experiments. It's in the middle of nowhere, which is great. And it's also a very controlled environment because being so close to Area 51, it's restricted airspace, and it makes it very easy to study the sky there. Well, of the experiments that I plan to produce there, the one that I've been talking for 2 years has been my plan to create some kind of opening device that I can take out there to this property and fire it up in order to see if I can trigger some amplified paranormal phenomena to document. For one thing, I believe that area is already naturally a portal for paranormal activity and has been for thousands of years. Easy to understand if you look back at some of the Native American lore as well as some of the extremely rare petroglyphs like those of the Baranagat Man. And so I figure, well, if it's already, that is, I believe, one of the reasons also that government conducts research active, then, well, I can just give it a little nudge, a little extra boost, a little oomph of special energy in order to try to get a glimpse at some of these areas, some of these realms that we are so fascinated by. And so I've basically taken everything that I've learned over the past 30 years, and I have designed a device with multiple moving parts. I've taken everything I've learned about physics and metaphysics and psionics and psychotronics and radionics, exotic technologies, magic, psychology. I wrapped it all up into this design, and I'm working on it, and again, I've been at it for a couple of years. I have no idea if it's going to work, but I think there's a very good chance I will finally have a prototype in good enough shape to take it up there sometime this year, 2025, in order to give it my first test run. And of course, I've been sort of mentioning my progress to a certain extent, but I'm also keeping it, of course, private, I think for obvious reasons. I'm not getting until I'm ready. Well, not just about this podcast, but other shows like Coast to Coast AM. I did start hearing from a lot of people all over the world
giving me an opinion about this project. Most of the people have been very enthusiastic and fascinated, and a lot of people have offered to help. I have been seeking input from some of the brightest minds in the fields that study these things. However, I have, of course, received a share of feedback from people saying, what on earth are you doing? Are you crazy? You don't know what you're doing here. You're playing with forces that are beyond you. If you succeed and you open up some kind of a portal, well, then you don't know what's going on through that portal, and maybe you're not going to like it. And the fact of the matter, my friends, is that is true. I do not know exactly what's going to come through the portal. And I don't even know what my chances of success are. But I am designing this so that I can very gradually energize the system, so that if I begin to see something I don't like, I can immediately hit a kill switch and say, that's enough, end of project. The purpose is not to cause harm to anybody, or certainly to unleash something that's going to attach itself to me the rest of my life. I'm hoping that this will simply sort of thin the veil just enough so that we can see, not necessarily interact with, but just see better some of these spiritual and interdimensional and even extraterrestrial forces that are around us. That is my goal, and we'll take it from there and we'll see what happens. But I've been listening very carefully to all of these people who have opinions, and I'm thinking about them all, and I'm taking them all seriously. Well, one of the people who has been most adamant about telling me, Mr. Warren, please don't do this, is a man who lives in California. And I'm not going to use his real name, I'll call him George. And what makes him special is he has followed my work for, I'd say, around 10 years. And he has corresponded with me quite a bit. He's very articulate. He has bought and praised many of the products and inventions I produced. He has come in person to at least 2 of my conferences. I used to produce conferences a lot, so I've met him in person, spent time with him. And so that's why I sort of paid more attention perhaps to him than a lot of other people, because he has been, I think, the most persistent one over the past 2 years, sending me messages saying, don't do this, because he says that he has been in touch for most of his life with a group of extraterrestrials he calls the benefactors. And not only have they communicated with him, but they have literally taken him into space. And, you know, I was about to write him back the other day and tell him, you know, don't worry, everything's fine. I'm being very thoughtful and careful with this. But then I thought, why don't I invite him to come on to this show and just let you hear in his own words what he is warning me about. And tell us who these benefactors are. And tell us about your relationship with them. And he said that these benefactors have been telling him to tell me not to do this. So I want to hear him say to all of us what these benefactors have been telling him to warn me about. And it's as simple as that. So I just arranged time to call him, and well, I'm going to start playing that recording for you right now. Okay, George, thank you for coming on the show, and I know that you have a warning for me. What is that warning?
The warning from the benefactors, the ones who have been communicating with me, particularly since I've turned 75 years old, these last 6 months. They do not want you employing or using the transmitter portal device that you've been inventing, because they're terrified of what you're about to do. You're a threat to them, because other societies, other farms, or other they get a hold of the knowledge they have, because they're still immature societies, they become very violent and they cause wars and death and destruction outside the portal. And they're also concerned about what might enter through the portal. If you should happen to bump into a star and that star mass comes in, it could destroy the entire farm that they've worked on for so long and so hard to build. That's what they're afraid of. And they're very, very angry. The last email I sent you, I could feel their anger. They're really in communication with us, and they are very, very angry about what you're doing. They're very angry that you're a threat to them, is what they're telling me.
Okay, so now for people who are brand new to this topic, of course, who are the benefactors? Okay, we have to pause for a break, and I think that's a good point to pause, because when we come back, he is going to explain who these beings are, and it is a truly weird story, and it actually ends up going into some places that I didn't even know we were going to discuss. So it turned out to be an even more interesting call than I was expecting. So you definitely want to stick around for that. And you know, it is true. I'm always inventing things, and some of the things that I invent, especially based on some of the places here in Nevada, like Spirit Mountain, are extremely popular. And I've got some new stuff in the works that I plan to be telling you about, maybe in the next month or two. We'll see how it goes. But some of these new projects and inventions and experiments are going to be things that I will not be talking about on the podcast. So you have to go to my website and sign up for my free e-newsletter. Go to joshuapwarren.com. There is no period after the P when you type that in. First off, go to the Curiosity Shop. Just click around, have some fun, look at some of the cool stuff. But on the homepage, be sure to put your email address into the little box and hit submit, and you will be instantly receiving an automated email from me with links to some free online goodies. I am Joshua P. Warren, and you're listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network, and I will be right back.
Hey folks, we need your music. Hey, it's producer Tom at Coast to Coast AM, and every first Sunday of the month, we play music from emerging artists just like you. If you're a musician or a singer and have recorded music you'd like to submit, it's very easy. Just go to coasttocoastam.com, click the emerging artist banner in the carousel, follow the instructions, and we just might play your music on the air. Go now to coasttocoastam.com to send us your recording. That's coasttocoastam.com.
There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabate sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only... The stain-resistant performance fabric slip covers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design, changeable slip covers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabate has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day. It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all off. As the forecast calls for football all across the country. Blockbuster stars, live concert, and so much more. Link out to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Big O Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you, owned by someone in your neighborhood. We offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
Isn't that delicious? So good.
Your bill, ladies.
I got it. No, I got it. Seriously, I insist. I insisted first. Oh, don't be silly. You don't be silly.
People with the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card prefer to pay because they earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors for it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No!
The Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Terms apply.
Hey, it's producer Tom, and you're right where you need to be. This is the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network.
There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabate sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slip covers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design and changeable slip covers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anime has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day. It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on. As the forecast called, blockbuster stars, live concerts, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Big O Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you, owned by someone in your neighborhood. We offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
Wasn't that delicious? So good.
Your bill, ladies.
I got it. No, I got it. Seriously, I insist. I insisted first. Oh, don't be silly. You don't be silly.
People with the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card prefer to pay because they earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors for it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No!
The Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Parents apply.
The Coast to Coast AM mobile app is here and waiting for you right now. With the app, you can hear classic shows from the past 7 years, listen to the current live show, and get access to the Art Bell blog and listen to uninterrupted audio. So head on over to the coasttocoastam.com website. We have a handy video guide to help you get the most out of your mobile app usage. All the info is waiting for you now at coasttocoastam.com. That's coasttocoastam.com.
Welcome back to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. I am your host, the Wizard of Weird, Joshua P. Warren. Beaming into your wormhole brain from my studio in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, where every day is golden and every night is silver. Giatanto Zume. And now, let's get back to my recent phone call with a gentleman in California we are calling George, and find out exactly who these beings he calls the benefactors are and why they are so angry at me over my plans to build a portal opening machine to experiment with out in the desert. Who are the benefactors?
The benefactors. It's an ancient race. We call them maybe aliens, but they call us the aliens because they made us. They are known as the Magna race. They are a praying mantis insectoid type of race. And they've been around a long time. And the ones that are doing this work are called the Magnificent Ones. And because they are divine beings, and they are second only to the source. And the source is the one that Jesus called the invisible one, and nobody at any time has seen God. Because our benefactors are physical, just like us, the Father and the Son. And their angels are also physical, just like us, because they can intermarry with our human women, as you know in the book it says that. So these beings have been around a long time, literally billions of years. They know all the angles, and they know exactly what to do. And they've been allowed to do whatever they want to do with us. But I think the Son has had a change of heart, and he wants to save at least some of us from destruction and the end of us.
And so how did they get in touch with you? How did they get in touch with you? How did that happen?
First it starts with visions. Long time ago. When I was a young man, they showed me, what was it they showed me? I can't really remember, but what I do remember is when I was a young man, I put it out there, I want to know the truth. And they waited all these years since I was in my 20s to finally give me this information. They started with visions. They showed me the edge of the earth. I saw it, plain as day. Like I mentioned, it's huge. It's immense. It's gigantic, and it's got these X things inside, like rebar we use in our concrete. And they showed it to me. I said, "Holy mackerel, what the heck?" And I also saw on the side there, small, like there was someone who was trying to dig underneath the portal, underneath the dome. It's kind of a light blue in color, and those X's are white in color. And this thing's immense. You couldn't believe how big it is. It's like, the Empire State Building, like a toothpick next to it. When these people build stuff, they build things in a big way. And they also, there's so much that they've told me. It's kind of circling in my mind.
And so they've been in contact with you throughout your life?
I think so, yes. They just never told me so. Like they saved my life when I fell off the back of the truck that time. They showed me other people. The angel that came into the store I was working and showed herself. And afterward I got sick. Just like the other people in the Bible. They get sick and they fall down like they're dead. If she hadn't left, I would have died right there on the spot. But these type of things have been happening to me all my life. My life's been saved. I've been in some horrific accidents, which I literally walked away from.
Okay, but so these people that you're calling the benefactors, you're describing them as being insectoid. In some of your messages, you said they were like mollusks. Are they good or bad? Because I'm getting some mixed signals here about how we should view them.
Okay, the mollusks are their pets. They feed people to their pets. This is going to be hard for you to understand and believe, but we are cattle. They consider us to be their cattle. They made us from the dirt of the earth, and they used the power of the wave, which is alive. Otherwise, we wouldn't be alive. They made us from the dirt. And I say so much in my mind here at one time. They are our benefactors. They've been around a long time, and they made us from the dirt of the earth, and we're their cattle. This is a farm. It's been around, I don't know how many millennia.
And so you're saying that there are some that are in touch with you that are helpful, but then also there are, and those are the ones that are those the insectoid ones?
No, the insectoids are the friendlies.
Okay, so the insectoid ones are the helpful ones, but then the mollusks are the bad ones. Is that right?
That's correct. Okay. They eat people, and they're their pets, and they can.
Even though they're friendly, they are capable of taking people to the mollusks and feeding people to the mollusks.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is very much correct. See, they set this up. This is a farm, and we're their cattle. You know how we are with our farms? Mm-hmm. We treat our animals with kindness and love and care. Well, they treat us with kindness and love and care too, but they still eat us just like we eat the cattle.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, it really does, because I often say, it's not like that we eat cows because we don't like them. We just eat them because, that's what we're used to and they taste good. It's not like we hate cows. All right, so now, can you describe a little bit more about how the insects and the mollusks, so to speak, how they appear?
All the mollusks, those are just like giant snails, huge. Up to 4 foot tall. They were monstrous. I remember looking outside the ship they took me up on. I was what they call, what's that word, abducted and brought there. And they put me on the ground face to face with one of those things. And I was looking outside the window of the ship, and I could see the snail trail. And all of a sudden I find myself out there looking face up at this gigantic beast. And then for some reason they put me back in and they brought me back home.
So now,
for some reason they didn't feed me.
Or are you saying that this was a physical experience or more of an astral or spiritual experience, or can you tell the difference?
It's a physical experience.
So you were physically abducted and taken into some ship, and you had one of these monstrous mollusks or snails over top of you?
That's correct. Head on. You mentioned too, at first I thought it was these grays that were doing it. But then I think I mentioned that I had meditated and I went down and I kept on concentrating. It took me years, but finally I was able to break through with whatever they did to blind me. And I saw the insectoid looking right at me. It was about my height. And he was pointing out the window at the mollusks out there. And then he brought me home. It's as simple as that. They didn't let me inside the ship to see what kind of control they have. They limited fluency.
Do you have any idea why that they have selected you for this type of interaction?
I think so, because a long time ago when I was in my past, I want to know the truth. I think because they showed me what you're doing, and they know what you're that they are really in contact with me when they show me these things that you're doing. Remember, I wrote to you about the transmission globes that transmit, and you can vector them closer together and further apart. That way, they let me know to tell you that what they're saying is 100% correct and accurate.
And so,
they want to prove it.
Okay, so now that you have explained again exactly in your relationship, let's revisit now. Why do they not want me to proceed with experimenting with my portal opening machine? What exactly do they think might go wrong?
Well, first of all, you're a threat to them, as we already established, because they're concerned about what might get out and what might get in. Now, if you open the portal and you hit a star when it opens up, this world will be destroyed. And the other one, which is the bigger threat, is that something gets out, because in the past on other farms, other immature societies have gotten out and caused great havoc and harm to the Magna race, because they have this knowledge too, and they were a threat, and they were, what is the word I'm looking for? Adversaries. They become adversarial to the Magna race, and they didn't like that. So from here on in, they do not want anybody coming out of these domes, and they'll do anything in their power to stop you. And they haven't. And this is the first step. They change their ways. That's how they do first. Afterwards, if you don't listen, and if you don't obey what they have to say, they will react in a most violent way. Look what happened to ancient Israel. When they dropped the covenants, they didn't do it anymore. They let the Assyrians and the Babylonians come in and take them away. And they're not afraid to do what they want to do. But like I said, they've been allowed to do whatever they wish to do with us, because we are their property, just like we own cattle. They own us, Mr. Warren.
When we come back from this break, you will hear the conclusion of this discussion, and I must say, it ended up taking a turn into a direction even stranger than I was expecting. We even got a little bit into the topic of the flat Earth theory, something I don't talk too much about. I'm Joshua P. Warren. You're listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network, and I will be back after these important messages.
The Art Bell Vault never disappoints. Classic audio at your fingertips. Go now to coasttocoastam.com for full details.
Tired of spills and stains on your sofa? WashableSofas.com has your back. Featuring the Anime Collection, the only designer sofa that's machine washable inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly prices. That's right, sofas start at just $699. Enjoy a no-risk experience with pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and changeable slipcovers made with performance fabrics. Experience cloud-like comfort with high-resilience foam that's hypoallergenic and never needs fluffing. The sturdy steel frame ensures longevity, and the modular pieces can be rearranged anytime. Check out WashableSofas.com and get up to 60% off your anime sofa, backed by a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not absolutely in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping or restocking fees. Every penny back. Upgrade now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day. It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all off. As the forecast called for football all across the country. Blockbuster stars, live concerts, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you, owned by someone in your neighborhood. We offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Is the team you trust.
That's delicious. So good.
Your bill, ladies.
I got it. No, I got it. Seriously, I insist. I insisted first. Oh, don't be silly. You don't be silly.
People with the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card prefer to pay because they earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors for it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No!
The Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Terms apply.
You're listening to the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network with the best shows that explore the paranormal, supernatural, and the unexplained. You find your favorite podcasts.
Tired of spills and stains on your sofa? WashableSofas.com washable inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly prices. That's right, sofas start at just $699. Enjoy a no-risk experience with pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and changeable slip covers made with performance fabrics. Experience cloud-like comfort with high-resilience foam that's hypoallergenic and never needs fluffing. The sturdy steel frame ensures longevity, and the modular pieces can be rearranged anytime. Check out WashableSofas.com and get up to 60% off your canapé sofa, backed by a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not absolutely in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping or restocking fees. Every penny back. Upgrade now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Welcome to today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day. It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all off as the forecast calls for football all across the country. Blockbuster stars, live concert, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Show weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Mega Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you, owned by someone in your neighborhood. We offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Mega is the team you trust.
Wasn't that delicious? So good.
Your bill, ladies.
I got it. No, I got it. Seriously, I insist. I insist first. Oh, don't be silly. You don't be silly.
People with the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card prefer to pay because they earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors for it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No!
The Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Terms apply.
My name is Mark Roberts, president of ParanormalDate.com. Over 5 years ago, George Norrie approached me with a unique concept, a dating site for people searching for someone with interest in UFOs, ghosts, Bigfoot, conspiracy theories, and paranormal. From that, ParanormalDate.com was born. It's a unique site for unique people, and it's free to join to look around. If you want to upgrade and enjoy more of our great features, use promo code GEORGE for a great discount. So check it out. You got nothing to lose. ParanormalDate.com.
Welcome back to Strange Things and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. I'm your host, Joshua P. Warren, and this is the show where the unusual becomes usual. All right, let's wrap up my conversation with George. Then I will give you my final thoughts on what he had to say. And then I have a truly bizarre story to tell you that may actually relate to some of the things that he has been saying. So here we go, back to the call. Well, you know, George, what's interesting is that you actually are more confident that my machine is going to work than I am. I think it's very unlikely that I'll be able to achieve anything. I mean, it's almost scientifically impossible. So, but the world is a big place, and if I actually am able to put a machine together that was
might exit, because they've had this experience happen to them before, because they're more interested in what might get out. You know, people like Hitler, Mussolini, Dojo, these type of guys, if they get a hold of this and they get out, direct threat to the Father and the Son to own and operate this farm.
And so do you think then do you think that nobody should attempt to create a technology that will somehow communicate with them, because you're communicating with them mentally? So what's the difference between your interaction and what I'm thinking about experimenting with technically?
Well, it's generally just a one-way. It's just generally a one-way communications. I want to know this. It's not that way at all. It's always been a one-way trip, although occasionally I've asked. Like when I asked them, what does your equipment look like? And I told you what I was shown. So you would know that I'm communicating with someone that knows what's going on. That's the whole reason behind that. But just generally speaking, 99% of the time, it's them telling me straight up. And those emails they sent you, that's not me. I did not write that. I was told what to write. It was like dictation. And I didn't do any editing. That's straight from them. Directly, with nothing else added on or done away. These beings are terrifying, Mr. Warren. You have no idea what you're dealing with. I've been face to face with these people, these beings, and they are powerful beyond what you can imagine. They have power. They have ability. They have knowledge. They're terrifying.
So do you think then that I should completely abandon this entire project?
Yes. I don't think they're against whatever else you're doing, like those wonderful wands you build, this honey materializers, those crystals you got from Spirit Mountain. I think they're open to that. They're just angry because you're trying to build something like a Hitler can escape out of, can attack them. Remember, in the book that it talks about the fallen angels?
Yeah.
The reason why he did that, I was told, because he wants to take over the farm. He wants the business for himself. That's why. That's the reason behind the angels did what they did, because they want this for themselves. They don't want to be what you call servants to the Father and the Son. They want to run the business. And you can see what they've been doing. They run it down. They brought in wars and killing. That's not what they want. But that's what happened. When the servant takes over their kingdom, everything goes to pot.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I mean, and obviously we've met each other in person. I've enjoyed what you've written me. So I ask you this with all due respect. Why should I believe you?
And then, like you mentioned before, you showed me what you were building, and I sent you what I was shown, and you said, okay. Afterward, that sounds to me like you knew what I was telling you is what you were building.
No, when I said okay, meaning just a confirmation that I'd gotten your message. Yeah, that's all I meant by that. Yeah, I wasn't acknowledging anything about the technical setup. I haven't received anything that clarifies that. But I'll tell you what. I have a word in my mind right now, and if they communicate that word to you and you send that to me, that will prove to me once and for all that I should stop. You know, I do a show here, and it's kind of fun to keep people in suspense a little bit about what about me. I intend to at least try. But if you convince me of exactly what you're saying, then obviously I will have no choice but to call it off. But I'm telling you, I will think very, very carefully, because I've talked to a lot of people in the field, so to speak, who have different opinions on this. And so, I mean, I'm so curious. I know curiosity killed the cat. But if you receive this special word from them, let me know. But regardless, I mean, my mind is still a little bit uncertain of what to do here, because I want to experiment somehow. So before we wrap up this recording, give me your final thoughts on exactly how you feel I should view your warning.
Well, I know it's going to be some skepticism. I would like you to write it on a piece of paper, not just in your mind. Put it on a piece of paper so it can be both visually and mentally given. That might be a right way to go. And I will ask if they're willing to give me an answer. I can't guarantee it. But like I said, it's usually a one-way communication with me. But I will ask them to tell me what you're going to write on that piece of paper and in your mind. But there could also be one other thing, too, you might want to consider. Remember the information I sent you about the flat Earth curvature equation and NASA's reference publication 1207? Have you looked at those things yet?
I get on so many messages, I don't remember reading that one in detail.
Because NASA's reference publication 1207, in the very last page, the very last paragraph, they state unequivocally that the Earth is flat. So the people at NASA know that we're inside a dome. We don't live on a globe. We don't spin around the sun, and the sun don't rotate. They so much as admitted it. It's right there in print. NASA reference publication 1207. And I've read it, and it's exactly what it says.
So you believe the Earth is flat? Is that correct?
That is correct. I believe we don't live on a globe. Although the Earth itself is like a cookie, it's tall places and deep in other places. But generally speaking, yes. Because like I said, they showed it to me. And I've seen the outside too. They took me outside. Now that was a dream, a lucid dream when they showed me the outside. I can tell the difference. It's huge. It's white with black striations white snowball with striations. It's kind of like a grapefruit in its design. So I know that they're on the level.
Well, I don't believe the Earth is flat, and so I mean, it's one of those things like there's no sense in discussing it. So you and I obviously have a difference of opinion on certain things, but I respect your opinion and your point of view, and I'm happy that you care enough about the work that I'm doing and experimenting with that you would you take the time to share your thoughts with me. And that really does mean a lot to me, and and I listen to what you're saying, and I'm going to think about it, and we're going to let the audience here, and I think it's great that there are people like you who are extremely thoughtful. Well, in that case, George, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
I appreciate it, this opportunity, an opportunity to express what I've been told. But like I mentioned, this is not me. All these things, those emails I sent you, I was just dictating what I was told to write.
All right, so there you have it, my dear listeners, and thank you again, George, for your thoughts. And listen, I am open-minded to hearing input from everybody, and I get tons of messages, and so it's physically impossible for me to reply to every message I get. But if you want to send me your thoughts, please go to joshuapwarren.com. On the homepage, you can scroll down and find my email address, and it's easy to contact me and let me know what you're thinking. Here's where I am. I pretty much already have all the basic components. It's been a lot of work, and I've spent a lot of money. And I have tested some of these components already individually. What I have not done yet is put it all together and turn it all on at once. That is going to be the big moment. Should I do it? I am still listening, but we have to take a break. When we come back, I told you I have a really weird story. Imagine that. I'm Joshua P. Warren. You're listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network, and I will be right back.
The internet is an extraordinary resource that links our children to a world of information, experiences, and ideas. It can also expose them to risk. Teach your children the basic safety rules of the virtual world. Our children are everything. Do everything for them.
Tired of spills and stains on your sofa? WashableSofas.com has your back, featuring the Anabay Collection, the only designer sofa that's machine washable inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly prices. That's right, sofas start at just $699. Enjoy a no-risk experience with pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and changeable slipcovers made with performance fabrics. Experience cloud-like comfort with high-resilience foam that's hypoallergenic and never needs fluffing. The sturdy steel frame ensures longevity, and the modular pieces can be rearranged anytime. Check out WashableSofas.com and get up to 60% off your Anabay sofa, backed by a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not absolutely in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping or restocking fees. Every penny back. Upgrade now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day.
It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on as the forecast calls for football all across the country.
Blockbuster stars, live concerts, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Big O Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you. Owned by someone in your neighborhood, we offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
Wasn't that delicious? So good.
Your bill, ladies.
I got it. No, I got it. Seriously, I insist. I insisted first. Oh, don't be silly. You don't be silly.
People with the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card prefer to pay because they earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors for it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No!
Card. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Apply.
On the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network.
Listen anytime, any place.
Time for a sofa upgrade. Anabe, where designer style meets budget-friendly prices, with sofas starting at $699. Anabe brings you the ultimate in furniture innovation with a modular design that allows you to rearrange your space effortlessly. Perfect for both small and large spaces, Anabe is the only machine-washable sofa inside and out. Say goodbye to stains and messes with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics that make cleaning easy. Liquid simply slides right off. Designed for custom comfort, our high-resilience foam lets you choose between a sink and feel or a supportive memory foam blend. Plus, our pet-friendly, stain-resistant fabrics ensure your sofa stays beautiful for years. Don't compromise quality for price. Visit washablesofas.com to upgrade your living space today with no-risk returns and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Get up to 60% off plus free shipping and free returns. Shop now at washablesofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day.
It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all off. As the forecast calls for football all across the country.
Blockbuster stars, live concert, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Big O Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you. Owned by someone in your neighborhood, we offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
Wasn't that delicious? So good.
Your bill, ladies.
I got it. No, I got it. Seriously, I insist. I insisted first. Oh, don't be silly. You don't be silly.
People with the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card prefer to pay because they earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors for it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No!
The Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Terms apply.
Hi, this is Sandra Champlain. Ever wonder what happens when we die? Well, I'm going to make it easier for you to understand. Join me for my show, Shades of the Afterlife. New shows come out every Friday, so I'll be looking for you right here on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network.
Segment of this edition of Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. I am your host, Josh.
Alright, guys. This is where I'm gonna get off. See you guys later. Bye.